Zoom, it says.
And audio's working, so yeah, we are live. Hello, whoever's there, if anybody's there. If not, hello for the future people. Right, so yeah.
Hello to the future.
Yeah. So today I will be fixing this bugger, which is a Primaris. Actually, give me a second. Let me find the instruction manual so I can actually figure out what the fuck I'm painting and or fixing. A Primaris Inceptor Squad member. So basically a big ass guy with a fucking great big fucking jetpack. Painted it up. Unfortunately, I sat on it.
I was gonna say, would you do step on it?
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Stepped on it with your ass.
Yeah.
I've heard of
pretty
these
much.
that come in different pieces, parts, or whatever.
Oh yeah. Let me just. This is a sprue for. I think probably one or two. Well, 1/2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So it comes in like a million different pieces.
A million pieces like that. Okay.
Yeah, you probably sit there on a different.
The fact that the leg snapped off isn't.
Oh yeah, it's just a matter of gluing it all together. Yeah, this one is for some poxwalkers that I have coming up. Tons of little bits to put together.
Is that primed or no?
Yeah, this is all primed. Yeah, primed with a grey, just basic grey primer. Nothing spectacular. But then you got the easy kits that Games Workshop makes, which are pretty much just like old-fashioned snap fit airfix models, like a couple of pieces you put together. But you can make something like that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that one's.
Now, are you using the GW paints? Or are you using like the paint they?
I'm using a combination of Crawford and Black, crappy fucking cheap shop paints, which I use for different things. I use Army Painter paints, which I find are sometimes better because they're a little bit more liquidy in their consistency. And also I'm using old-fashioned Games Workshop stuff, the ones with the hexagon bottles with the black tops, and the more modern Citadel miniature stuff. So it's a bit of a mishmash depending on what I'm actually doing, because I find some paints from some ranges are better than some paints from another range. Like a lot of the Games Workshop stuff I use is probably the gold, the washes, the inks, and that's probably about it. Everything else is Army Painter at the moment. Yeah. So it's all a big mishmash of different things, depending on how it's like what you're comfortable with, I suppose. It's a bit about testing different types and seeing how you go with them. Like with me, I have a massive problem with greens and yellows. They just don't work for me. So I have to find different places that do the different types of greens and yellows so I can get the right one with the right amount of pigment. Okay, yeah, people can see on the stream. So fucking hard to get this thing centered up. Unfortunately, I'm having to use super glue, which I don't normally like using on plastic miniatures, but I'm just so sick and tired of this thing fucking falling apart on me, so it's getting stuck fucking permanently. But yeah, miniatures are like my go-to when it comes to painting model kits and stuff, because I've always been used to doing them. Let me see if I can bring a couple over. Actually, a few of my good ones have fallen down somewhere or have disappeared. What the fuck? Oh no, they're behind something else. Unfortunately, I have a shelf full of these things now. But yeah, this is like a one of my Death Guard Marines.
Ew.
And
a lot of detail in there.
This is like one of the captain or sergeant or whatever it is for my Primaris Marines that I'm just doing now, with my own sort of homegrown legion. But yeah, I've done this since I was 12. I I think about 9 years ago, I kind of stopped because they were just getting way too expensive. Because GW, unfortunately, are not cheap, and they will only ever get more expensive. So, yeah, I kind of stopped doing it, but now that I'm in a better position in life with more money, I've kind of got back into it. So,
Nice.
yeah, and I found out that my skill levels have increased tenfold, if not
Very
more.
cool.
1 second, I really wish I had a fucking super glue activator right now. It's the one thing I hate about gluing any kind of model is, like flight bases which have a clear plastic thing like this. It does not do well with super glue. It fogs up the plastic.
Oh.
Yeah.
So is it discoloration where the bond happens or whatever?
Yeah, it's basically it just reacts with the surface of the plastic, making it very foggy. And there's no way of getting rid of it. It's pretty much permanent once it's happened. A lot of people I've seen have just painted the bases black, which I might do in the future. I've done that with I have a sort of Eldar fighter jet that's a future project because I'm still figuring out how the fuck I'm supposed to do that. Because it's my first GW kit that I want to actually put a light in.
Oh, really?
So it's gonna take a while, and I think I've put a bit too much super glue in there.
Just continue
laughing?
to fuck with Toya.
Oh, so she's still going off on one.
Yeah, she just won't fucking let it go.
It's Toya though.
Now she thinks that there's going to be people freaking out and burning down theaters because they don't make people wear masks. I'm like, man, if they did that in this town, there'd be nothing left but a Costco.
And a few Amish wagons.
Yeah, no, there's literally, I don't think there's any business in town other than Costco that demands that customers wear masks.
I still think that sort of Rockstar Games should make an Amish version of Grand Theft Auto.
That'd be funny if they just had a mod.
Yeah, like literally set in the modern world, but with in an Amish community.
That's funny.
The Amish have changed a lot, man. In the 20-ish years I was living in Indianapolis, things changed pretty dramatically among the Amish around here. I remember one of the things I was looking forward to doing was taking these boys to the Amish market that I went to all the time when I was a kid and growing up and living in town, because over the years they went through different kinds of Amish machinations to try to cool the indoor market that they had. And the last iteration they had was a bunch of steam-powered ceiling fans, which are the coolest fucking thing you'll ever see.
Steam-powered ceiling fan?
Yeah. They had steam tubes running through the building, and every fan had a piston in it. So every fan's going... That's so fucking cool. And now they have electricity. They've got an electric freezer, an electric cooler. They run air conditioning.
My very layman's understanding is that it's just there are varying levels of degrees of how strict they take the whole technology thing.
Yeah, the ones in Indiana are among the ones that are the most strict. Pennsylvania has become pretty liberal. There's a bunch of Amish cars and shit.
Uh-huh.
None of that's happening around here. But they are. I can remember the first time I saw an Amish woman wearing just a regular store-bought tennis shoe, and I about shit my pants because there's a bunch of no-nos on fucking tennis shoes, like sparkly bits and laces and all kinds of shit that goes against God.
Oh, wait a second. That's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, what do they call it? I can't remember. It's like a word. It's too showy to.
It's the Dutch word for whatever it is, or
yeah, to do anything that isn't, to wear anything that isn't, like, you can't wear anything that has laces on it. What you need is buckles.
It's weird.
So
it's like buckles are more advanced than laces.
Yeah.
Come on. What's the consistency?
Well, that's what was popular when they left Europe. So
Yeah. And they just wanted to like freeze it in time, I guess.
it's the thing that gets most missed about the Amish is that they can use electricity. What they can't do generally is pay for electricity, which is what makes this market weird.
Can I please get some of that? I want to use electricity and not have to pay for it.
Yeah, friends of my parents, they went away on vacation and had the Amish family that owned the farm next door watch the house for them. They came home to a $700 electric bill for a month.
Whoa.
They turned on absolutely everything and left it on all the time because they didn't have to pay for it, because they couldn't pay for it. The church wouldn't allow them to pay for it.
Ridiculous.
Because that money goes to the English, and the English are everybody that's not Amish.
Right.
So they're all about fucking the English, which is...
How do we reconcile that as a society? That's weird. How do we... whatever.
It's... I have a lot of respect for them just because of their commitment to being so wrong.
They're nothing if not committed, that's for sure.
Right. And they, every year there's a new batch of 16-year-olds that are allowed to spend 2 years kind of doing whatever the fuck they want and then deciding whether or not they want to join the church when they're 18. The only thing they can't do after the age of 16 if they're going to rejoin the church is go to school. They have to drop out of school if they're going to be allowed to rejoin the community.
Learning more than you should know.
Yeah, so along that ground, my dad's best friend in high school was Amish.
Oh wow!
And he wanted to graduate from high school. He wanted to go to college.
Mm-hmm.
So he left the church. His mom left the church. And I think she brought at least one younger brother, maybe both younger brothers with him. Mm-hmm. So all of them were excommunicated. He went to college, got a master's degree in education, became the superintendent of the school system of the school my dad and he attended. Oh, so wow. He was superintendent of the entire Amish community that kicked him out.
Oh, there was a show on Cinemax, I can't remember the name of, that involved the Dutch, and like the main bad guy was a guy who started out as Dutch but then got shunned by the whole community, and he basically turned into the big bad villain. God, what was the name of that show? It was really good. Banshee. That's what it was.
Sorry.
What the fuck was that? That was my Big Bang Theory fucking theme tune.
Right, that's taken care of.
Yeah, I'm just doing a little few bits on this. I'm not going to be doing a whole stream on this because I could literally spend another 3 or 4 days doing stuff on this. I still need to give it a green wash. I need to give it an dry brushing. Actually, I will probably do the dry brushing after I've done a green wash. But then I've got to do a whole bunch of stuff to the base. But as I was saying, it's like these are good things to sort of start off with, to do basing and terrain, because you get the kind of feel for the materials and how they work in small areas, which always goes up in when you're trying to use them in large areas. I'll show my basing box in a second. Normally, back in the day, my way of basing a miniature was to use sand or like the green sort of crappy grass medium that you get from model shops.
Flocking.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I've upped my game slightly, because I want them to look a bit more, a little bit more interesting. But the thing is, I need to make all of my, if I've done one base for one miniature, I need to do all the other miniatures for that faction to kind of look the same, because they're supposed to be an army in the same area. But with this, I used slate as a base, or as the rocks, because I like that sort of layered rock look that it has. Actually, let me see if I can zoom in a bit, because You can barely see it. Webcam. There you go.
The woman that bought this chair for me just asked if the new chair helped. I'm glad she did because I didn't remember her name.
Yeah, little gamer boy with your gamer chair. Yeah, you'll be playing Fortnite and CS:GO and all the rest of it in no time. But yeah, I used slate for the rocks. I didn't paint it because I wanted that natural, dirty, worn look. Even though I've fucked it up in a few places that I need to stick some extra bits. But the flocking I used was like a brown flocking that kind of looks like tobacco that's been dried out and turned flaky, like really small and flaky, with a few little bits of dark green and light green spongy bits. So it looks like it's leaves and whatnot. But the worst thing on this model is the goo coming from its mouth. I forgot how to do goo on miniatures, so I used bristles from an old brush to create strands.
Oh, nice.
Then I figured out you can actually mix colour with PVA glue, and it turns really stringy and nasty. So you can actually use it as a sort of a sort of goo or whatever. So that's on that one. So it's like basing is it's like part and parcel of Games Workshop stuff. I think it's probably just as important as the miniatures themselves in some respects. So this is the basing box at the moment, full of all sorts of goodies. I got bags of cork, box of sand that came with one of Games Workshop's big ass mega bundles on for paints. I've got sprees of skulls. Just skulls, don't.
You want to put random skulls around here.
Pardon?
So when you want to put random skulls in the back.
Oh yeah, it's Games Workshop. It has to be done. I've got static grass, like little clumps on sort of like sort of silicon sort of little pads that you can glue down in place, and some of them have like little bits in with them like rocks and stuff.
I thought those were merkins.
Tiny merkins for the Games Workshop. Well, it's like, a Space Marine, they do have their bits, so I would assume that they can get a bit iffy about their bits. So, that's just tons of different colours of, static grass, a bit of sandpaper. That's some of the flocking, but this one's got like different colours in it. So I'm not entirely sure how I would go about using this. This is like a sort of forest moss near enough.
Yeah, I think it's like a fall thing where you've got fallen leaves on top of it.
Sorry, this is freaking my junk box as well. Just blue glass.
Did you pay for those rocks? Because I'll send you a bunch of fucking limestone chips if that's what you want.
I paid I think it's about £20 in total for all of it. The slate I nicked from a person's garden. Hashtag totally not a thief. Got green flocking, just normal stuff. I've got the light green flocking. This is the stuff the brown stuff that I was sort of using as the base. So I sort of mixed it in. So it kind of looks like someone's like ground up some tobacco in that shit. You got some more. This is like darker static grass, but I haven't quite figured out how to apply this shit yet. Sand, rock.
There's a video on making your static gun.
Even more rocks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But
dude, if you want fucking limestone, I can go out to my fucking driveway.
And there's
ship it to you.
There's plenty of driveways around here that I regularly steal from.
I had some jackass trying to say that fossils were all fake and blah blah blah, and I said, hang on a second, I'll be right back. And I walked out to my driveway, I picked up 3 rocks, all of them had fossils in them. I brought it back. I'm like, you mean like these? I just picked up 3 fucking rocks at random. Oh, you made those.
Wait, mate, I've got to figure out.
I actually used to work with a guy who said that all fossils were fake and they were all placed there by somebody. I'm like, dude, aren't you a hunter? Yeah. Well, haven't you seen fossils in the limestone where you hunt? Yeah. Well, how the fuck do you think that got there? Somebody probably threw it in there.
Oh yeah, in between a whole bunch of fucking rock. Yeah,
Or
that's
into the bottom
stuff.
of a creek so somebody might see it someday.
Yeah. Oh, fucking cretins. They really are. Okay, time to do some quick detail work before I move on to the other one. Oh, I gotta put on my eye.
Put on your eyeballs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to have one of those great big fuckers that lights up.
What's that?
I'd have to have one of those great big magnifying glasses that lights up.
This has a light in it as well.
Sweet action.
Oh, let me see if I can show it. Yeah. Nice little lamp that you can move around on it. I think these were like £10 off of Amazon. Yeah, nice and cheap, for what they are. And they come with like a box of different lenses for obviously different magnifications. Okay, now let's see if I can do this on stream, this bit of highlighting. Now this is the stuff that will probably get you really annoyed. Oh, let me just get my brush loaded up. Just little lines all around the edges of this thing. There you go. Welcome to the world of edge highlighting. The most boring, annoying fucking thing in all of Games Workshop. But yeah, sort of what sort of scenes were you thinking about doing when you were when you actually get round to making sort of scenic stuff?
Me?
Yeah. Sorry.
No big deal. I'm trying to multitask. I think the first thing I'm going to start off, just terrain wise, because it's really easy, are some dungeon tiles.
Yeah.
And I would like to order a mini or two. Honestly, I am probably going to order a couple from Hero Forge, but as those are really expensive, I wouldn't mind having like a couple of more middle of the road cost ones to like start with and practice on and kind of figure out what I'm doing.
I think
I'm asking for any recommendations you might have on a. It doesn't really even have to be a model that I care about necessarily. Just one that gives me something to start on.
Well, what's it at the moment? Amazon have quite a few sort of D&D style things like thieves, wizards, and shit like that. You just need to look for their fantasy packs. Excuse me. But yeah, they're decently cheap. But when in the world of miniatures, there's nothing really, that's extremely cheap. It's like you're always going to look at about $20 and above for even the most simplest of stuff. A good one, which will probably if you want looking for like a big first project, a Beholder from D&D would be a great one because it has different.
Oh, Beholder.
Yeah. Because they have different textures and you have to use different things to build it up, like dry brushing, shading, washing, and all sorts of other things. Let me have a look because I know that they did have some D&D. What's it?
I'm looking right now. Oh, they got a bunch.
It's normally if you type in miniatures, like shit tons come up. A lot of these are from people with 3D printers that are just doing them off of files.
Right.
But yeah, it's like Mantic Games has got like a little few with a few different ones in it. Just generic miniatures like an orc. Some bad guys there, wraiths. Skeletons.
Mhm.
How much was that? That's like 17, but you get about 9 miniatures in that, so it's not too bad. But yeah, if you look around on Amazon, they've got tons of them. From all sorts of price ranges.
Do you guys get a get it today or a delivery same day delivery from Amazon where you're at?
I signed up to Amazon Prime because I unfortunately where I live people nick my mail, so I've got to have that extra delivery. Yeah.
Can you get same day delivery?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
Oh no, not
I
same
can
day. Sorry, next day delivery. Yes, but not next day.
I can get same day delivery. I'm thinking it's unique because I happen to live just a few miles from one of their warehouses.
Oh, lucky.
Yeah, I used to live in Indianapolis. It was awesome. I'd order something in the morning and be there by noon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just jammy. That is.
I've got this love-hate relationship with Amazon because I'm not really keen on exactly how they treat most of their employees, but
Yeah.
so damn convenient.
Yeah.
It would be nice if they had a union.
Right. Yeah.
Is there anything stopping them from having a union, or is that something? Because I don't know the law. The sort of the things in America and Canada.
And the problem they have are states like Indiana, where it's a at-will work state.
Mm-hmm.
So you can be fired for absolutely no reason at all.
Yeah, including like making noises about wanting to organize a union.
Right. So unless they tell you that's why they fired you, it's legal for them to fire you.
Oh, that's fucked up.
That can very well be their reason, and so long as they don't say that, it's legal.
Right. As long as they have a different reason they give, and
all they have to do is say it's not working out.
Yeah.
Jeez, I'm so happy that I live in the UK where that sort of shit is you can't do it.
Yeah.
It's like
that's one of Mike Pence's signature pieces of legislation is making Indiana an at-will work state.
Was it? Oh man, I've never lived well. Yeah, I think Oregon was an at-will state as well. I don't think I've lived anywhere where it's not been an at-will employment state.
I've from what I've seen, it feels like America has like literally no employee rights whatsoever. Yeah.
Some, I mean, obviously not as bad as like say the turn of the century or whatever. Well, turn of the last century, not this one, but yeah, yeah. And it's different from state to state unless they've decided to take something on at a federal level, which usually means that you're part of a protected class and stuff like that, which is all fine to be part of a protected class and whatnot. It kind of sucks a little bit that you have to even have such a thing as a protected class just to get people to treat each other decently.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's part of the conversation that I'm continuing to have. Well, I think I'm probably done at this point. The last comment was, no one needs to care about you or me or anyone. And my comment was, well, that's kind of how societies exist, but you're right. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Well, what's it is like with this whole with everything that's going on in America? There's some takes that I've seen that I've thought to myself, no one has to give a fuck about what how you think or how you feel.
Right.
I know how evil it is, and should be someone that kind of should say think and feel something, but that's the way the world works. You can't force you can't really force people to give you more than what you do, basically.
Yeah,
there are. I can't remember how many states there are that have Samaritan laws where if you see somebody in trouble, you have a legal obligation to help them as best you can.
Right. Well, I know there are Samaritan laws that prevent you from being held liable if you do stop to help, but
that's another one.
Like perhaps you make things worse or whatever. As long as you were giving a best effort to try and actually help somebody, you can't be held liable for.
Yeah, Indiana had a doctor that was on a plane in Indiana airspace, and a passenger was having a heart attack, and he broke ribs during chest compressions. But the person lived. They turned around, flew back to the airport, got him in an ambulance, got him to the hospital, and they survived. Then turned around and sued the doctor for breaking their ribs.
Yeah, screw that shit. I just don't get people like that at all.
Like, your option was for him to let you die.
Right.
It's the whole point about money, isn't it? It's like they saw a way of getting money, so they took it. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody posted on Twitter that what's the biggest failure of humanity, and I said greed.
Yeah.
The fact that we didn't make greed a capital punishment crime.
It is the one thing that will destroy this world if anything. Nothing else does.
Right. I like that.
It's working the fastest right now.
Yeah. Yeah, just hope the fuck I manage to get a flight on the first trip to Mars. Leave all you schmucks behind.
I have to admit I've fantasized a little bit about like just what would be like. Well, oh, we're offering trips to colonize a new planet. Get me on it. I don't care how dangerous it is. Let's just go.
The only problem with is if you go to Mars, you'll probably have cancer. So much cancer, your cancer will have cancer.
Right.
Yeah. It's just like, of all the sort of like, the humming and all the sort of congratulations being doled out for like space travel firms and all that shit. I haven't heard one of them talk about how they're gonna protect people on other planets.
Yeah.
It's like we don't have the Martian space age fucking technology to make a dome that's like completely radiation proof. Not at the moment anyway, not that I know of.
Right.
Unless I've been grossly misinformed, but normally I'm pretty much up on that. And the ability to make enough oxygen, well, that's another matter altogether, But there are ways, but it would be nice to see. But get us the fuck off this planet. We're done. No more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I've nearly finished edge highlighting this little bastard.
Yeah, so I've got a couple of unpainted minis in my Amazon shopping cart now.
Yeah, they're a good way to sort of start off, base building and just painting in general. Even if they're terrible attempts, fuck it. It's like do it for fun. It's like, to tell you the truth, some of my minis were actually for commissions, but unfortunately people reneged on them. So I'm stuck with a whole shit ton of commissions, the things that I wouldn't normally actually buy. But then again, I'm kind of happy that I've got them now because it's a testament to how my skills have improved so much over such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Okay, one last thing I need to do: the green wash on this bad boy. Now, where's my green ink? There you go, green ink.
My professional knowledge got me in trouble a couple of weeks ago. The ex had a landscaper come in and put down a pad of compacted crushed limestone for their above ground pool to sit on.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, reasonably certain there was no reason to put down the crushed limestone in the first place. Second of all, somebody started to build a retaining wall after having leveled the ground off previously. And this guy's company went in and put on 8 more inches of retaining wall block on top of the existing what I would have assumed was a temporary wall based on how well it was constructed.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize he hadn't done all of the work, but he showed up to do some work on that property, on that job, and I was like, "Come over here and I can talk to you for a second." And I looked down at the wall. I said, "What exactly have you done here? Is this a retaining wall? What is this?" So, well, I didn't do the whole thing. I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I didn't realize that was the case." So your company is the one that put the additional blocks on top of the fucking capstones?
What's that?
Capstones just set on top of the retaining blocks. Retaining blocks actually have a lip on the back of them so they can't slide. And he set his block on top of capstones. And said, "It's not my wall. I didn't do it." Like, no, you just made a bad wall worse. And said it's not my fucking wall. It's your fucking wall now, dickhead.
Yeah.
He pulled his crew off the job site and like, "Sorry, babe. My bad. Probably should have handled that different." But professionally insulted by the quality of work they'd done, and they were charging $2,700 for the privilege.
Jeez.
It's like maybe 8 tons of limestone. I know there was one person there that compacted it, and I don't know, 10 or 15 retaining wall blocks. $2,700. What, motherfucker? And this is the quality of your work?
Was it a high enough retaining wall that you would have to get like an engineer to come out and?
It was about knee high. It should have been it should have been about 16 inches tall, but it's about 25 inches tall, something like that. Yeah, no, it's tall enough that it should have provided a function that it cannot provide. But yeah, no, it didn't need to be engineered.
Gotcha.
I've worked on those fucking jobs. Those guys are idiots. The guys that come out to do the engineer. I'm sure it's better now than it was when I was doing that work, because retaining wall block was a fairly new product. But goddamn, we had a guy that came in and he engineered retaining walls into a really steep hill at do you know the name Vera Bradley? It's a line of purses and stuff that looks like they're all quilted, fancy, funky materials. Anyway, one of the owners of that's the house we're working at.
Oh, wow.
And this guy puts in retaining walls in the middle of a hill. They're about 12 feet wide and scalloped so that they kind of bulge out from the hill. But there's no concrete under them holding them to the hill. So there's no way those things were going to be there in 8 years. Just virtually no chance any of those walls were going to live 8 years. And we show up on the job site. I'm like, who the fuck designed this bullshit? And the guy is standing right behind me. So he and I went round and round about what I knew about what he was doing and how wrong it was. And he's like, nope, it'll be fine.
He's behind me, isn't he?
No fucking way, dickhead. There is no fucking way.
Oh, I love the channel. That link that you sent me, Artimus. I love that guy's channel.
Yeah, there's another one, my Railroad or something like that, who does real similar work.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, just look at it afterwards and you go, dang, that looks really good.
Yeah.
The water effects and stuff that he's able to achieve is just amazing.
Yeah, he the first time I started watching one of his videos, it was, like on my phone, if I slow down as I go past a video, it starts to roll.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
The opening of the video was like a flyover of the model he'd just done. And I couldn't tell until I realized that the backdrop was fake, that anything I was looking at was fake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be cool to be that good at something like that, but
yeah,
I'm hoping for.
Yeah, I've got just enough talent to be irritated by people that have that much more than I do.
A lot of it is just time and practice, and good materials. Because this is one of the jobs where if your materials suck, your end product will suck. Yeah.
Trax, did I tell you the story about the guy that I went to school with that while he was still in college was making posters for the Barnum and Bailey Circus?
Really?
I don't believe so.
He made enough money on 3 posters to pay for 3 years of college at IU.
Jeez.
And he just submitted them, and they gave him money for them after he just mailed them a copy of it.
Jeez, man.
And this was the 80s, so I mean he had to mail an actual print of the thing. And they're like, "Fuck yeah!" Wrote a contract, sent him a check for I think it was $8,000.
Jeez, man. What I wouldn't give to get that kind of money for doing this sort of shit, How I can barely get any commissions at the moment because of the COVID shit. But yeah, I can understand that. People don't have the money they had before because no jobs and shit like that. But
yeah,
we're reopening now, so I'm hoping some schmuck will give me some cash to do some painting.
I wish I had money to go to Disney World right now.
Oh, just because it'd be so not crowded?
Everything is by appointment.
Wow.
It used to be, they would, if you signed up for a meal plan, they'd give you your meal schedule. Now they give you your everything schedule.
Wow.
Like, how fucking cool would that be?
Isn't it so funny? A Fat Pat want to go there?
Yeah, everything you go to, you just show up and then do that thing, whatever it is. Get on the ride, have your meal, watch a show.
Yeah, cool.
At least you won't have to wait for fucking like line queues and shit like that.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to suffer Florida heat.
1995. That's the last time I was at a Disney property.
I was at Disney World 5 years ago.
Yeah, and the last one I was at was Disney World. I actually was there with a singing group in college. We were there to perform.
Oh yeah,
it was kind of fun.
Yeah, I think my marching band did a big band trip every 3 years, which sucked for both my brother and I because we were in those years where we only got one trip. And I can't remember, his trip was kind of shit, but mine was I marched in the Orange Bowl parade.
Oh, nice.
And here to date myself, in front of us was Bob Hope, and behind us was the Miami Vice guys. And what ended up happening was Bob Hope's, no, it wasn't Bob Hope, it was the Miami Vice guy. Their float fucked up somehow, and they fell way behind us. So we were on national television for like 4 minutes. A high school marching band during the Orange Bowl parade on for 4 fucking minutes.
Wow.
So virtually everybody that was in the band there was a shot where they were on TV.
I love it. It's great.
And one of the greatest memories of my life, especially at high school, I was sophomore or junior in high school, and my shoes were killing my feet. It was like we were like halfway through the parade, and my shoes just had to come off. Mm-hmm. So I jumped out of ranks, took my shoes off, and handed them to this woman that was sitting on the curb, and I said, "Could you hang on to these for me? I'll be back to get them." In case you're wondering, no idea where that was, and I had no intention of going back for those shoes. But the look on that woman's face as I just walked away from her, like, okay, great. And her daughter just snaps her head around to look at her mom like, what the fuck just happened?
So funny.
Okay, that's enough greening for that. It's only... Oh, shit. Unfortunately with this, it's a slow process. It's like layer 1 of 20 million on this thing. Now I've put green on there, I'm going to have to go back with the lighter green to sort of buff out the darker green. It's all a big ass process. Yeah. But well worth it if you watch it for the end result. Excuse me. Alright, on to this guy, which is a standard bearer for my thing. So gonna have to paint this and my marine. So now I've got to mix up the right colour. That's gonna be fun. Unfortunately, I do not record anywhere what kind of colour goes into my mixings, unfortunately. So it's all done by eye. Okay, what have I got here? So I've got dark stone, I've got uniform grey, I've got dungeon grey, I think that was the one. Because I think I was saying that, yeah, I don't paint just plain black anymore because it's just too dark to work with. I use a bit of like a very dark grey, so you can probably see the difference.
So you're into charcoal now, is that what you're saying? Yeah,
just to make it, yeah, it makes a model a bit more brighter, and you can see the details a bit clearer. So this one is just primered, just black
yeah, it
primer.
kind of creates the illusion of texture where there is none.
Exactly, it gives a bit of highlight and all the rest of it. Just makes it a lot better. So it still looks black, but not like the dark black where all the details are completely completely taken up with other things.
I was gonna say, if it's too black, does that like hide some of the detail if there's like a crease or if there's
Well,
a
the thing is, it's harder
so
to bring out the detail. You can dry brush it. So basically, put a bit of pigment on a brush, put it on a bit of tissue, so most of it comes off, and then sort of like go over it. But that only just brings up the edges and never really touches upon the actual the flat surfaces. Whereas if you do grey, it's not, all the detail isn't lost as much. It's hard to sort of sort of explain it. It's just like with black, you can see it, but it's just too dark a color for a miniature. You need it just slightly brighter. Because and also trying to paint over just plain black is so difficult, especially for other colors. So if you go a lighter color, it's a little bit easier. Okay, right. I need to mix some black in with some grey.
Topher, what kind of work do you do?
I'm a web developer.
You're a web developer?
Yep.
Fuck
I write,
off. That explains. I was talking to you with the woman, and I said I don't know what he does for a living, and then it started talking about what's in your pictures. I'm like, he's obviously doing all right for himself.
It helps that I'm single.
Yeah. No, you're a hell of a lot better shape than either of us are in.
Yeah. Now I write applications for the company I work for specifically, so they don't have to buy off-the-shelf applications necessarily. Most times, because an off-the-shelf application is not going to do exactly what you want it to do.
And
anyway.
you're gonna have to fuck with it anyway.
Right. So, yeah, I write and then we just got bought by a much larger company, and so now I've got to learn a whole new development stack, which is actually good. It's just.
Yeah, well, anything to add to an IT resume is good.
Right. Exactement.
Okay. Now I'm just.
Yeah, I was a Y2K compliance recruiter for database operators.
Okay. I did a bunch of back in that day. I did a bunch of running around with a disk and checking all of our different machines to make sure they were compliant or not, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, we had DBAs that were making $300,000 a year as a contractor.
Holy cow! Well, contractors make bank usually.
And he was a DBA DBA. I can't remember what the system was, but it was one that was virtually dead, and the company was huge, and they were just fucked because they had to get somebody.
Oh.
And he's like, all right, well, I'm available, but I'm pricey.
An aging technology that's on its way out, but you've got a company that's relying on it, and they need you at least as long as they can to replace it. I mean, you can.
The number of DBAs that started out as punch card operators in the Navy is astonishing, because once companies started to buy punch card machines from IBM, they needed people to run those fucking machines, and the Navy was pooping them out left and right.
Right.
So they just matriculated up to becoming fucking DBAs. Jesus Christ.
Oh, you're right, Glebe. Sorry, I didn't see you there, dude. So my usual wingman for streams is in the chat. But yeah,
Hi, Globy.
Globy. I'm so glad you said it first, because I was about to transpose a couple of letters and it was going to sound way dirty. I mean, not on purpose, but it's like
yeah.
My brain's up with my mouth, which is real nice.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so with black, you can't shade it because it's black. There's nothing darker than black. So if you want to shade something, you're gonna have to go a few lighter shades up, so you can bring it back down to a darker shade.
Right, of course.
With these models, I do want the shadow or the shading in some respects. So yeah, it has to all be painted over again with a lighter grey, which I hope to fuck matches the grey of the rest of them, because as I said before, this is all done by eye. So if it's not quite right, then well, it stays that colour. Yeah. But yeah, most of the time I'm pretty much. It looks pretty much bright. So here's hoping. But yeah, as I said, trying to paint over a dark color is so incredibly difficult, especially if you're using reds. It's nigh on impossible to bring that back up to a decent like brightness.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not without putting white or some other light color underneath it.
Sure.
Yeah, just doing it a dark grey rather than black just gives it that bit of an extra fighting chance to shine through a bit more. But luckily enough, Space Marines are probably some of the easiest fucking models to paint in the whole of Games Workshop because they're flat surfaces, there's very little detail to each model. Yeah, they're just great for a beginner to start off and get all the techniques done. And yep, that's the base coat done for that. Just make sure I haven't missed anything because that'll come up later.
Was there on your first mini? Was there any kind of like Did you have any kind of base idea about how to start and where to start, or did you just go, okay, let's start putting some color on this thing?
My first ever mini I did was a miniature from a game called Dark Crusade. No, it wasn't Dark Crusade. What was it now? Space Crusade. It was basically the sort of forerunner to what Games Workshop is now.
Okay.
Yeah, introduced the Space Marines and a few other factions. But I was painting them for a friend. So I had a brief, as it were, as to what to paint them. But my later ones, it was just I followed the books. I just followed like the paint schemes from different factions, like like space, the Ultramarines, which are just bright blue.
Right, but you started by looking at the end product and then just reversing it, and you're like figuring out in your head. Well, then I would have to lay this down first.
Yeah, to tell you the truth, it was basically just block colors. I literally had no painting skill when I first started, so it was literally just block colors and nothing else. Yeah, literally, I had no idea how to do anything else. So that's actually I've got one of my originals. Oh, an old one here. Unfortunately, it's a bit dusty as all fuck, unfortunately. But this is one of my older Marines. This is going back about 10 years ago, just as I stopped.
Oh, okay.
Just black, gold, block colour. There's no detail there.
Not a lot of highlighting, or in fact, no highlighting. Right?
There's nothing there. It's just block. That's all I knew how to do. I think that the only thing I knew how to do was probably put a bit of a wash on the gold to make it more bronzy looking.
Yeah,
darker looking. But that
does pop.
Oh yeah, it's very bright, but it has no nuance. It has no wow factor. Whereas if you look at that one, there's
do you seal them when you're done? Do you seal them with some sort of like a varnish or
only ones that are? Well, it depends. Some models do definitely need it just because the base coat is probably shit. So I have where is it now? Let me find it. I do have a bottle of this stuff somewhere. Vallejo polyurethane matte varnish, just to give it a quick protection. About a tenner a bottle.
Yeah,
it can be used in an airbrush. Yeah.
I hear their paints are very good, or at least that's my understanding from just watching a bunch of videos online.
Yeah, some people take it as a go-to. I've never used them, so I can't give a sort of recommendation for them. But I've heard bad things about them. I've heard good things about them. Like pretty much every paint out there. Some are good, some are bad. Games Workshop are pretty good, except for their price, but some of the colours that you get in there are terrible. Like they just don't have a great coverage. Like the very light colours, like green, very light greens, they seem to have knocked on the head, but their yellows have never been good. I think the only time they ever had a good yellow was back in the day when they. Wait, let me see if I have one. Back in the day when they used to have these bottles. This is what I bought when I was 12 years old. I've still got it, and it's still liquid inside.
It's still liquid inside?
Yeah, this stuff is probably as toxic as fucking as bad for you as the uranium is. But yeah, this stuff is like 12 years old.
Wow.
Still in its original bottle and has barely been touched. Technically, I could probably make a mint off of this thing. Yeah, but I've got a few of them. But this yellow is, obviously so old that the piece of plastic has disintegrated off of it.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, well, other than the cap of paint, it's really good. It's fucking hell. Yeah, it's a really bright yellow. It's
like
super bright. I mean, I know part of the lighting here, but man, that's bright.
Yeah, it's
also
like
because my light
yellow.
is. But yeah, what you see on screen is pretty much how it is, and it's a really good. It's got a decent coverage to it, whereas some yellows I've had have abysmal coverage. Like you can see right through it. It's like it wasn't even there. But yeah, it really depends. It's like hell. I've had success with cheap fucking pound shop pigments.
Yeah, I guess it really is. It's whatever works. Like if it works, if you find it works for you, and you get the whatever. I guess that's
exactly that's the whole thing with painting miniatures. It is whatever works for you. I find army paint's a bit better because their pigments are more it's more liquidy than say Games Workshop, which is a little bit thicker.
So do you find that you thin the paints out from, or do you just use them directly from the tube or whatever?
With army paint, I find that I really don't have to thin them out. But if I really don't want to show brush strokes, then yeah, thin them out. It's always a good practice to thin out your paints with a bit of water or a bit of thinning medium. Like I've got a thinning medium for my airbrush, which I use sometimes on some paints because I find that it keeps the pigment together, so it doesn't ruin it too much. But yeah, most of the time a little bit of water will do you. Yeah, you don't need to buy like special mediums and shit like that to get it done. All you need is a bit of water and a decent palette. It's like I go with a wet palette. It's like this thing. All it is a bit of let me just get my tweezers. Yeah, all it is a bit of baking paper over a sponge with a bit of water underneath it. Keeps everything moist for hours.
Oh, there you go.
Whereas if you put it on a plate or on a whatever you use as a palette, it dries out incredibly fast.
Wow.
So yeah, this can actually, if you have a like this one comes with a lid. So if I put it over there, that could actually last quite a few days. So I can go back to using that color if I've got enough of it and just continue painting.
All right, because you're preventing the evaporation or whatever, but
exactly,
really slowly.
Exactly. So it's like you do prevent it, so you've got that little bit of extra working time.
Cool.
But yeah. But I don't know if you can probably see, that's been painted with the lighter grey, and you can see the details a little bit more clearly.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, but enough so you can like now darken certain areas, lighten other areas, and it will pop a lot more. Yeah, I might need to.
Do you work with a magnifier of any kind?
Pardon?
Do you work with a magnifier of any kind, like either on your face or in front of you, to make things big?
Yeah, my eyesight isn't as good as it used to be, but there's some times where I do need to use one of these. Just a head-mounted.
Not that great either. Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking. One of those kind of things.
Yeah, comes with a little, as I was saying, the Artimus. It comes with a little lamp, so yeah, it
stays on.
Yeah, it stays on. It drains the battery like a motherfucker, but yeah, it's pretty good. Sorry, Globy, do you want to come on, mate? If you want.
It's not LED.
Yeah, it's LED.
And it drains the battery.
Yeah, because they're a lot higher power than that I've seen before, and they're larger LEDs. So if you get some good batteries out of it, you'll probably be able to like get a bit more time out of it. What's he doing? Yeah.
He was answering the question about whether or not he wanted to come on.
Well, it's up to you, mate. You're more than welcome to. I'll throw you a link. Give me a moment. Technically, I think he was supposed to be with his missus, so he's probably ditched the missus now.
That's what he was saying in the chat.
Okay, give me a second, Globy. I'll throw you a link, mate. Paste. Oh no, that's a YouTube link. What am I doing? Okay, go back to that. Copy. Copy link address.
Monitor, not email.
Go to you. Paste. There you go. But yeah, when it comes to painting miniatures, it's just a lot of trial and error and looking at a whole shit ton of tutorials.
Yeah.
I find a guy called Dr. Faust's Painting Clinic a good resource for some things, but there are things that he does that makes his miniatures look crap. But it's all about.
I've been watching the Miniac.
Oh yeah.
Just because I find him entertaining, and he appears to like the same kind of music I do.
Fair enough.
And a couple of people. The one guy I watch he's not really a miniature painter. He's more of a terrain guy. I watch that Black Magic Craft. I don't know his actual name. He's a Canadian guy. Seems real nice. And miniature wise, what else have I watched? Jazza, but he's not really. He's pretty good at it, but he's all over the place.
Yeah, Jazza is just a general artist, I find.
Yeah, he's not. Did you see the thing recently where he made a miniature like from scratch out of Sculptamold?
Yeah.
Like epoxy, and then he sent it off to another guy whose brush kit Kickstarter I backed. What was his? He's a Swedish guy. I can't think of his name.
So yeah, I know he did one via
Squidward, something.
Oh yeah, Squidmore Miniatures.
Yeah, him. So I watched his. He seemed really. Well, he did a collaboration with Jazza where they, like I said, Jazza built the miniature and he sent it off to Sweden and Squidmore painted it, which was just kind of amazing. Where do we see the ones that
Okay, I think that's done. Now on to the thing that's going to take the longest, the banner. Ooh, this is going to be fun. Normally,
it is. You know what I'm talking about. So with any luck, at some point, I'll be getting a set of Squidmore brushes, or whatever. Because I backed his Kickstarter, but whatever. Because the brushes I got aren't like the best, but I didn't get like the absolute cheapest I could find either.
Yeah, unfortunately, when you paint miniatures, not even the best is good. It's just like you will get through brushes like nobody's business. Yeah, I go with as cheap as possible. If I'm bulk painting, if I need to do a bit more detail, then yeah, I'll go with something a little bit more expensive. But yeah, I find that brushes do not last. You know, the tips will bend or just smeg up. Yeah, it's one of those things. Some brushes can be absolutely fucking awesome. Some can be absolutely terrible. It's one of those things you just got to buy different brands and see what works for you. Pretty much like everything else in the painting miniatures realm, you just got to get what you feel works for you. As well as you got to take care of the ones that are actually good. Me, I find it's just cheaper just to buy new ones whenever I need them.
Yeah.
But yeah, trying to find one that actually holds a point on the tip of the on the tip of the brush, it's fucking difficult to say the least. But that's just me. It's probably my bad luck in painting miniatures. But yeah, I always find I can't find the right brush. This one is an Army Painter one that came with my big box set. I find it's okay. Not great for major detail, but it does the job. And it's lasted, thankfully, so I've kept good care of it. Okay, everything's been given a nice. Actually, I think I need a slightly bigger brush for this job. Yeah, a lot of this is just when you're painting, it's the first thing to do is base coating or blocking in colours, and then the rest normally just easily sort of like falls into place. Okay, let me just get a bigger brush because that's going to ruin my brush if I continue doing that. There you go, bigger brush. And one, I don't care if it gets ruined. But yeah, I've done plenty of miniatures. I need to do bases for a lot of them, and I know one of them I actually want to do a diorama for. Oh, bollocks. Which is my Imperial Knight, which is a huge miniature. Well, it's technically a miniature, but it's not really a miniature, if you get what I mean. It's fucking it's humongous. But I want to be doing a very special base for it, but I need a lot of planning and a lot of time gathering resources, because it's going to take a lot of resources to build that thing. It's going to be in like a lava setting.
Oh, cool.
Sort of standing over a sort of lava river that's coming down from a lava waterfall, as it were. Basically, it's going to be a mix of a sort of volcanic wasteland / the Devil's Causeway or the Giant's Causeway in Ireland. So you've got those hexagonal rock formations. So it's sort of like pouring over those into a little river running underneath the miniature, and it's all going to be lit up with different lights, so it looks like it's flowing. God knows how the fuck I'm going to do that, but it's like it's the same with the... Oh, Globy's joining us. There you go. You know, I've got this, which is my Wraith Fighter. This is as far as I've got, because I'm trying to figure out where I'm putting lights. You know, all I've done is put like sort of red diffusers in where I need red light and all the rest of it. It's going to be a red light in it, but I wanted it a deeper red. So just trying to get this thing looking just right is going to be difficult, but it's going to be well worth it once I've actually sat down and done it. How is the lovely Globy today?
What's up?
Oh no, stop it.
Hi, honey. How are you?
I'm great.
What's up, bitches?
How's the fingers?
I washed them now.
So did it go away, or did that make it worse?
Oh shit! No, they're still there. What's that about?
What's this?
I've had hot dogs, and you know that's hot dog smell you get on your fingers.
Stinky finger is what he's got. Stinky finger.
Most people hold them with bread, but you know, you do you.
Yeah, peasants bread.
Okay, a bit of dry brushing now, because I definitely need to do that on this one. What do I need? I need a little bit of a dark, lighter grey. There you go. Necromancer cloak. Okay, now I need the right brush for this. Right brush. I've lost. Ah, there you go. That'll do it. A nice flat bristle, flat-ended brush will do it. Just a little bit on there. Rub it along your hand or a bit of tissue paper just to get enough of it off. Run it along, and eventually the detail will come out. Okay. Now this is one of the best techniques in... Oh, one of my skulls fell off. And I just dropped it in the paint. Oh well.
Dry brushing?
Yeah, it is one of the staples of miniature painting, I find. It's one of the things that got me into painting a lot more. It's for some reason the people at Games Workshop never wanted to tell people about it for some reason, or it wasn't, you know, they didn't want to Oh shit! I just put fucking silver paint on that as well. Crap.
I'm distracting you.
No, painting mishap. I dropped it in paint, so yeah, it's no biggie. Just an annoyance. There you go. See, even when you drop it in, what's it like? Put different paints on it. It's not at the end of the world. Actually, I need a bit more paint. Where was that? Ash grey. No, that's not the one. Let's go with a slightly lighter grey here, because that's not coming up as well as I expected. What was that? Necromancer cloak. I need dungeon grey. There you go. Just a little bit lighter. With a little bit of necromancer cloak put in there, just to darken it up a little bit. But yeah, dry brushing just gets all the highlights and stuff like that. It's like on something like this where there's a lot of detail, I normally dry brush it first, because eventually I will probably be using that detail at some point as well. Unfortunately, your hand gets really nasty, like there you go. There you go. That's bringing it up. And there you go. You can probably just about see there's a bit of an edge highlight there. And you can see the details a lot better than you would if you just did a flat coat.
Right.
And it also gives you an idea where you're putting edge highlights in the future.
Very cool.
And you can go even lighter if you want. I'll be going a little bit lighter just because, later on I can't be asked like looking for all the detail. So a lot of this will probably be covered up, but for me it just gives me an idea of where I'm actually painting stuff. Right, okay, let's cover up that mistake.
Is that your mouse pointer on Tofer's head?
Probably. There you go.
Oh, yeah, that's tiny.
There you go.
That's better.
There you go. Now the mistake has been covered. Nice.
I wouldn't call Tofer a mistake. That's a bit cruel.
Yeah. What? How dare you? Okay, let that dry off a bit. And the good thing about acrylic paints, they dry like fucking quickly. Never use enamels for miniatures. Anybody who can paint miniatures with enamels and still make it look good, hats off to them. But it's the worst stuff to use. Yeah, acrylics is always the best.
Someone's got to lighten the mood, Tofer, because 4 hours of watching him dip his brush in some paint.
Oh, shut up, you know you like it.
Fucking soul destroying.
Bitch. Where's Artimus gone?
He's already jumped up his house roof, I think.
I'm sitting here tweeting angrily at people that just don't fucking understand what they're seeing. Someone is defending the fact that the president said that protesters and dirtbags, I don't remember what the fuck.
Oh, God, yeah.
He basically said that those people would be treated very differently than they have been in other places, hinting that those people would be, violently opposed.
Right.
And one of the words he used was protesters. And I've got some motherfucker trying to say that I didn't say looter and protesters. I said rioters and looters. He clearly means the methodical burning and violent destruction of yet another city, blah, blah. What the fuck? He said protesters. Did he not mean it? Was it a joke?
You know what we need? We need a president who doesn't joke.
I am not a comedian.
Yeah, no shit. I don't know from funny, apparently.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind having a president with a sense of humor, but one that doesn't just back up everything that suddenly isn't popular with, oh, he's joking. Jeez. Sounds like a freaking child.
Yeah, the Supreme Court voted against him. Anyone get the feeling the Supreme Court doesn't like me?
I can't sit there.
What the fuck kind of question is that? Why should they give a fuck who you are?
He's tweeting his inner monologue, isn't he, really?
Yeah, just...
Wouldn't that just be a long string of fart noises?
Or KFC orders.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen that video where it's apparently like a side-by-side comparison of Trump's meeting with like local small businesses and Biden's meeting, and Trump's playing around on his phone while Biden's taking notes.
I think it was on a dating app.
Biden could be drawing stick figures, probably no, but it still at least appears that he's taking notes and listening and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Well, at least he's looking them in the face. Yeah, fuck it. I've come to the conclusion that I'm willing to accept a president that is dumber than I am. I just shouldn't be able to tell this easily when I'm being lied to.
Right.
It's insulting to my meager intelligence to be able to immediately read what this dumb motherfucker is saying.
Right. Totally get it.
If you weren't so dangerous, it would be funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Fortunately, he's dangerous.
People say, "Well, it doesn't affect you." Yeah, it affects pretty much. It sucks and it's sad to say, but it affects not just our country. It affects stuff outside of our borders.
It's like I think there should be a new law in place after his time is up that you actually have to have an IQ to become president.
Right?
Fuck me, they'd never have a president.
Yeah, exactly.
The man single-handedly turned selflessness into a political volleyball to be smacked around.
Do you know he's supposedly told 18,000 plus lies in his 3 years nearly that he's had there?
Yeah. It doesn't shock me that much at all. Honestly.
No, I'm quite certain that if you had enough access to everything that he says over a course of a day, he probably averages in the 15 to 30 range.
And he'll just retweet any old propaganda he sees, or and then the last couple of things that he's actually, obviously he didn't make them, but that he had made. So frustrating.
We're getting news of the next step for America is civil war, with all the police apparently quitting.
We were talking earlier about unions and stuff like who was it we were saying? Oh, because I was saying Amazon. I've got a love-hate relationship with them. They're so damn convenient, but the way that they treat their warehouse workers and stuff like that isn't fantastic. And now Artie was saying, well, sounds like they could use the union. I was thinking, yeah, really. But then on the flip side of that, like the police union makes it nearly impossible to do a lot of things with them because their union will just back them up to the hilt. And I'm thinking, well, there's a union you could get rid of some of the power of.
Yeah, it's been surprisingly easy to fire cops the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
They should do their violence in private, really.
Yeah.
I don't know why they have these body
Keep that shit at the office. Don't take it outside when you go.
I was telling somebody, who was it? Captain Phoenix, I think he's also in the Phoenix area or something like that. And I was saying, man, I was imagining the other day. I mean, when these trials eventually happen, I don't know how long they'll take to happen, but can you imagine the shit people will lose if they're not convicted?
Oh yeah,
it would be way more. Talk about pandemonium! Holy cow!
I don't think I could work in an American court system. I would just be too busy laughing myself to death.
Yeah,
or weeping yourself to dehydration.
Probably one or the other.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, things are really messy, and the older I get, the more messy I realize things are, and the more angered I am by simpletons who still see things in very few shades of gray, if any at all.
Right.
But I talked to a lot of Americans who seem to be quite level-headed. Got their heads screwed on the right way.
I would hope so.
And yet, assholes like this guy still get into power, and shit still keeps happening. So,
here's the thing to keep in mind: stupid people breed faster than the rest of us.
Oh yeah. I mean, Idiocracy had that right.
It's just a fact.
Hence the flat Earth movement.
There are way more fucking kids wandering around your average trailer park than any suburban area anywhere in the United States.
Now I've just got trailer park boys in my head.
Yeah, that's the Canadian version. It's not very dissimilar.
Not all that dissimilar, no.
Yeah, I vowed fairly early on in my life that I would never live in something that I could afford to pay for with a credit card.
Fucking hell.
I've been able to stick to that. I dated a girl that lived in a trailer that she paid $3,000 for.
Wow.
Holy shit! Well, that explains why it seems to have a twist in the middle of it, like some kind of a cheese puff.
You see, to us, we call them particular. I'm not going to say residences. We might holiday in them sometimes,
Yeah.
At the lake.
and the rest of the time, if we're ever seen with one, we're normally towing it behind the back of a car somewhere else. But we'd never live in one.
Yeah,
I would, part of me wouldn't mind, like, if I were able to get up enough money to just go expat and move somewhere where it's cheap, like some place in South America, probably, Costa Rica or San Juan or something like that. Sure, I'd have to learn the language a little bit, but I mean, I already know a little bit, and most people will speak a little English anyway. Where my money will go further, and life will just hopefully be simpler and more quiet, maybe. And
Well, why don't you come and move to Yorkshire? You can try and learn the language, and it's a lot cheaper.
I love the Yorkshire accent, by the way.
He'd lose his ass in the currency exchange.
I learned a new word. I learned a new word from somebody on Twitter, a friend of mine. I don't know if anybody. I think Artie knows her. Her name's Liz. Anyway.
Yeah.
She taught me the word that I'd never heard before called small holding. And so suddenly I found myself spending a few hours on UK real estate sites looking at small holdings and going, oh, that looks so cool. Oh, that's neat. Holy cow, that's expensive.
Trax has got a small holding, haven't you, mate?
Oh, hey, leave my mushroom out of this, you prick.
One thing the United States does better than your country is we create poor people way better than you do.
And game shows.
I don't know. I like the UK game shows better. I like the chat shows that you guys have.
Oh,
Yeah.
Poor boy.
I like what's the damn it, I just forgot the name of it. NewsHour? It's not NewsHour. What's it called? Shoot. It's a mock the week sort of a thing, but it's more of a news panel. It's got
I think I know what you mean. It's
if you said it, I'd
no, I live in. I know what you mean.
It's not NewsHour. But like I really like the game shows that you guys have. The 8 out of 10 cats, the countdown. 8 out of 10 cats does countdown. Would I Lie to You? That's one of you.
Yeah, that's cool. I'll watch that.
Would I Lie to You is 8-bit or 8-bit guy or something. The one that Dara O'Brien hosts, the video game one, the classic video game one. I don't know if
I've seen that.
I saw an episode or two when it was new, and they posted it on YouTube, but I haven't been able to get a hold of him since then. Go ahead.
You say you find if you watch a lot of British comedy, they usually are taken from a select sort of pool. The same faces in different shows.
Yeah, you do start to notice that like the regulars on the shows are quite the same. There's another one that I've only ever seen clips of. I have no idea if it's still on the air. But at least it's got at least as part of it a game where they put headphones on two of the contestants, and they watch a guy whose name I can't remember. But when I describe it, you'll probably go, "Oh yeah, that guy." He's bald and he like mimes pop songs. It's hilarious. What is the thing? I can find it. the thing is interpretive dance is what they call it, but that's just the name of the segment, not the name of the TV show. Wrong mouse. I got two different computers I'm playing on. His name is. Let's see. David Armand is the guy's name. The host of the show is Hugh Dennis.
I love Hugh Dennis.
Yeah, Hugh Dennis is funny. I first saw him as the Doctor in Hero or My Hero. It's been a long time since I've seen that show too.
Yeah, I think
His real name is actually Peter. Peter Dennis.
Fast and Loose. That's the name of the TV show. Fast and Loose. It was on BBC Two.
Oh well, that's why I probably don't watch it then.
Oh god, so if you just look up UK guy mimes pop songs, it's hilarious. That guy, I mean, not just like chuckle, oh that's cute. Like I've like busted a gut laughing at some of his stuff. It's so funny.
I was introduced to Hugh Dennis when Comedy Central was still showing funny shit all day.
Oh yeah, I remember when Comedy Central was actually funny.
I had stand up all afternoon, and then 2 episodes of Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah, that was back in the day when they used to play Whose Line Is It Anyway. That's where I first saw that and got
pot smoking was way more fun back then. I'm gonna tell you.
Clive, not Clive Owens. What's Clive's last name? You know, anyway, the bald dude that
Yeah.
Clive Anderson.
Yeah. Clive Anderson, that's it. Clive Anderson, thank you.
Yeah, he's dry fuckus. He's like watching old people screw.
Well, unfortunately, I share a profession with him, so but I'm not as boring as that fucker.
He does have a sense of humor, obviously, but man, it's dry. Dry.
That's what 30 years as a lawyer will do to you.
Yeah, I've watched that ruin good people.
Copy, and there's a link to the video I was talking, or at least one of the videos I was talking about. It is stupid funny. Makes me laugh every time.
If it isn't Red Dwarf, I don't want to know about it.
Oh, I've seen every episode of Red Dwarf. It's been a while.
I haven't, because there's the new stuff that I haven't seen just yet.
Is there new stuff? Oh, well, shit. Then I haven't seen every episode. I've seen through season 8, if I'm not mistaken.
And there's some more on the way. There's Red Dwarf first 3 million years.
What? Ah, man. I'm so glad I got on this chat today. Now I've learned something new.
Yeah, that's coming
It's always
up.
a good day when you learn something, isn't it?
Is Robert Llewellyn still in it? Is he still playing Crichton?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though he's put on a few pounds, yeah.
It's easy for him because he wears a rubber mask, doesn't
You
he?
can still see the double chin showing through.
Has he gained a bunch of weight?
Oh yeah, he's got some timber on him now.
Oh, they've all gained weight. They're all getting a bit podgy. Even the cat. Gold work. Fucking annoying.
See a lot of YouTube videos with Americans reacting to British comedy, and I think that I'm addicted to watching them.
Oh, I have to get in on that. There's a show that I watch on YouTube, which is Irish people react to weird stuff. And sometimes it's the one that I like the best is when they get drunk. They're like
The Try Channel,
whiskey and stuff. Huh?
The Try Channel.
Yeah, that's them. Yeah.
There's a couple of women on there that I would give up my citizenship to fuck.
Yeah, me too. and honestly,
just them, Artimus.
I'd probably hang out with a lot of them, and it'd be a good time.
Yeah, there's some they have sparked something in me I didn't know existed. Mostly that Irish chicks who are Irish, kind of hot.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm still agreeing there.
Pretty girl with an Irish accent, really fucking hot.
Mm-hmm.
Don't like them too smart then.
Easy. I got Irish Catholic on the whole other half of my family. They're fucking Kennedys, for Christ's sake.
Let's see.
I call that the big hat of the family.
There's the dude with that always wears the sunglasses and has the black hair. He's got some really funny sayings for when, like, I've started, because I saw him, every time I'm talking about how much alcohol is in a particular drink, like this is 55% alcohol, you know? I'm like, it's 55 horsepower. That's what he said, and I thought it was funny.
Oh, wait. Leather jacket guy?
Yeah, leather jacket guy.
Yeah, he's got to the point that he annoys me.
That'll kiss your sister or whatever it was, or whatever.
Yeah. You'll want to be taking her home tonight.
Yeah. He just makes
he's got his own channel, and he's got this weird shtick where he's got a piece of cabbage stuck in a pipe, and he.
What?
Yeah, he's a little much.
I've got it.
It's certainly his personality type to be over the top.
Now I just want to see that so that I can see what his channel's like.
Oh, he's on with the guy that used to have the braces. They show the channel, but I think it's called the Leather Jacket Guy is the name of the channel.
They don't like post to it or anything like that, do they? They don't like or link.
No, I don't think they link to it.
Yeah. What doesn't kill you makes you drunker. What doesn't kill you makes you drunker.
He's got a lovely voice. Don't get me wrong, but his personality is just a little much.
Okay.
And coming from me.
It is called. Are You Having That? That's the name of his channel.
Oh, all right.
Oh, I've had that fucking being said to me by many an Irish person when I've gotten through half my drink and they've one dropped to me saying, "Oh, you having the rest? What's it? You having that?" I was like, "It's my drink. Fuck off."
Back off! Get away from my drink! It's mine. Get away. Okay, I will probably spend a while at least just deciding whether or not I think this is funny or not. I know that Irish people try to make crazy American hot sauce.
I can't get bored with this Irish people try stuff, because it's like, are they trying to sort of suggest that Irish people don't know what anything is in the world? I've never seen anything.
Presumably, I would totally watch. Well, I don't know that I would watch, but I would participate in a channel of American person tries some shit from another country he's never had before. I think that would be fun. But then I'm relatively adventurous that way, I guess. But I like when they, because I assumed when they did like a Irish people try whiskey, different American whiskeys or something, that they were going to be like, oh, this panty waste stuff is no, and then they're like, Jesus, that'll put hair in your chest or whatever. That'll, take that one home to your mother. But I guess we've got like there's some stuff out here that's 120 proof, which is what's 120?
60%.
50? No, yeah, 65 or 60%. 60% alcohol, and I guess that's just a bit much. Than
60,
what they're doing.
60 taste. It starts tasting. You can taste it at around 70 proof.
Right. It does start like I went through I've gone through a couple of bottles of things that are over 100 proof, and they do taste a bit like. They taste a bit of alcohol. They don't taste.
Yeah, it tastes a bit like something you should not have put in your face.
Right. But there are some calmer ones around, 70 or 80 proof, or even I think the biggest one I've got right now is 65 proof.
There's some pretty good recipes for Everclear.
I don't want to go blind. But there's a few where I'm like, oh, I can it goes down really smooth, and I can taste the notes of vanilla in it and some other. I'm not a big old snobby whatever, but I do like try a bunch of different whiskeys so that I can get.
When it comes to whiskey, I'm a big fan of Monkey Shoulder.
I've heard of that one. I almost bought it. It was at my local shop, and I almost bought it, but I was like, I don't know. And then I think it was a month or so ago, my boss and I were talking, and he recommended that one. And now you said something about it. I'm like, well, now I have to get some.
Well, I find it a nice whiskey, but I'm English. I don't know from nice whiskey, so yeah.
I don't really necessarily. That's why I've just been trying a bunch of different ones and see which ones that I like. And if I find one or two that I like, I keep buying those, but I still try other ones. It's a very rare occasion to find that my house doesn't have a bottle or two in it.
Oh, I haven't had fucking alcohol in weeks. No, about a month, over a month now, I think. I need
Oh,
alcohol.
I haven't had alcohol in a week. No, literally, it's only been a couple of days. Like I think I had a small glass yesterday.
Oh, I seriously need a drink of fucking whiskey right now. That or some good spice rum.
Well, I think I'm gonna go get some. Just being back.
Yeah, no worries, man. Okay, where am I now? Alright. Going back to reference models now, because I can't remember my fucking paint scheme. So, Artemis, when are you going to get into the 40k?
Ooh, I watch
hobby?
myself walk in the room. That's so weird.
I'm sorry. What did you say, Trent?
When are you going to get into the 40k hobby?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Got the Clyde Mays Alabama style whiskey.
Oh,
Yeah, I brown stuff makes me do stupid shit.
What do you prefer? Or just anything at all?
I'm Polish and German, so I drink a lot of beer.
Beer makes me bloated and gassy.
Yeah, once you get to the size of me and the age of me, you mostly don't give a fuck. Your only real concern is whether or not it's going to be a thing that pops one of your stents and you go back to the hospital.
Yeah, I did have to. I didn't used to like beer at all. Least of all dark beer, and now dark beer is the only thing I'll drink.
Yeah, I used to detest pale ales. And you do realize when you're drinking that shit that you're drinking the beer that the English were forced to make because of the heat they were in, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was never intended to be good.
Nope.
But yeah, I'm the same way. Actually, mostly I learned to drink pale ales because of the higher alcohol content.
Mm-hmm.
So I drink fewer of them.
Oh yeah, the one of my favorite is called Temptress, and it's 9.1% alcohol, which is high for a beer.
Yeah, that would kill me because I like the taste of beer too much to drink that much fucking alcohol.
Well, yeah, I mean, even if I go out, if I'm at a pub or something like that, if they've got that, I'll order it, and it goes down pretty quickly. And if I have just a couple, suddenly I'm feeling no pain, and it doesn't happen from 2 beers usually. So yeah, 2 pints of that, and I'm. I can take it easy for a little bit.
I can do damn near anything to be in the no pain position.
Well, yeah, that's why I drink Mexican piss.
Mexican tequila?
Tequila, yeah. It gets you drunk from your feet upwards.
that is absolutely true.
So you've got like a clear head, but when you try and stand up, that's it. You're on the floor, mate.
Oh, there it goes.
Yeah. Tequila also makes you throw up from your feet up.
Yeah.
You don't be surprised to see your shoes come out of your mouth.
Yeah, I got into a fight with Jose Cuervo when I was in high school, and he kicked my ass, and I didn't fuck with him for a long time.
I didn't get drunk my first time until I was 19 years old, and it was great fun, and then it was horrible. Nobody told me about the spins. They just started happening. I was scared to death. I was like, what the hell's going on? I tried to put my foot down on the ground. I was like, come on. The bed won't stop spinning. Oh, my God, what's happening? I'm
going to miss this. Is this when he lost his virginity?
He doesn't remember. What kind of question is that?
when I popped my alcohol cherry.
Oh, right.
Then he walked home funny for some reason.
Fortunately, walking home for me was just walking from one dorm room down the hall to the next one.
Yeah.
Technically, I was on a dry campus. So not only was I not 21, I was on a campus where we weren't supposed to have alcohol in the first place.
They're all dry campuses.
And I was on the second floor of the thing, and I wasn't going to make it down to the bathroom, so I just opened my window and started puking out the window. And I was hollering into the courtyard, "Oh God, make stop!"
Did you ever play the game Roxanne? The drinking game where every time that he says Roxanne in the song, you take a sip of beer. It will fucking kill you.
Yeah.
You have no idea how many times he says that word in that fucking song. But what you just said reminded me that we were on the 5th floor in my dorm, and we're playing that game. And my buddy and I, my roommate and I, best friends from high school, he and I are standing next to a window where the screen has been removed, and we're just throwing empty beer cans out the window, so that if we get busted, we're not busted for the empties, because all those are outside. We go down the next day and pick them up. It's a thing we did all the time. Anyway, we're playing that song, and about halfway through, my buddy blows foam out the fucking window like a goddamn fire hose, turns around and catches the next Roxanne. I'm like, fucking A, dude, that was beautiful. Like, I was just too full.
I do like having a drink, but I always promised myself I would never like drink alone. And now I've had to extend that, being as long as I'm talking with somebody online or whatever, then technically I'm not alone.
Yeah. And that's why I think most people think that I'm a drunk because they see me online and I'm drinking, but that's when I drink.
Right.
So somebody could like call an ambulance at some point.
Yeah, no, I got that shit down.
I've only blacked out one time. It was, and I'm not gonna lie, it was weird and scary to wake up and go, how the fuck did I get here? And not remember where I was until a little bit, and had to like piece it together in my head. And there's still pieces that are missing. But the only reason I bring it up is because I have one of my funniest, and the only reason I continue to tell it is because it's funny, but it's also mildly embarrassing. But I got so drunk that I started walking around. You guys, does everybody know what a cul? I know Artie will know what this is, but I don't know if you guys use this term in the UK. A cul-de-sac? Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's actually a French word.
That's true. It is. I don't know what, you guys might call it something else. But anyway, so I'm sitting there walking around in circles, trying to go in the opposite direction that my head is spinning. Because a month or two previously, that had worked for me. And apparently somebody was inside the party that I'd left to do this and said, "Hey, your friend's outside walking around in circles." And the next thing I know, I'm in his backyard on all fours, puking my guts up. I think I told Artie this story. And and some strange woman that I don't know is riding me like a horse and slapping my ass.
No, you didn't tell me that story.
Wow.
So I come out of a fog, thrown up into some guy's back lawn, and I look over my shoulder, and some strange woman is just riding me like a horse, slapping my ass, and going, "Yeah, come on!"
Oh, that's fucking hysterical.
And I remember nothing after that until I woke up in their guest bedroom. That was it. And I was like, well, that's what it's like to black out. Let's not do that again.
Yeah, my son's mom was the kind of woman that would have done something like that.
I think it's hysterical. I have nothing against her for doing that.
Yeah, no, she's funny. That's funny.
The only time I ever blacked out because of drinking, I found myself sleeping in a fucking wheelie bin outside a fucking Chinese. What's it, at the back of a Chinese restaurant in Chinatown in London, and I have no idea how I got there. I don't know what happened beforehand. I don't remember the night whatsoever. I just
aliens, mate. Aliens.
Yeah, I just woke up in a wheelie bin in Chinatown.
It's a little on the scary side trying to figure out what the hell you did the night before. Like,
Hey, I'm guessing you didn't climb into the wheelie bin.
I'm like,
I can only assume I did. Yeah.
Triax,
I don't think you should, though.
Can you remember if your ass was sore or not?
It was not.
His throat was dry, though.
Thank God his throat's.
You only got half spit roasted.
Yeah.
Everybody's heard that joke.
Done a kebab.
He just got the spit roast.
Man flying around and suddenly he's really horny, right? Everybody's heard the horny Superman joke. He's flying around, he flies by Wonder Woman's place, and he says, "There she is in the invisible jet. on autopilot, but she's buck naked and spread eagle, and he's like, that's amazing. And so he uses his super speed, whips in, does his thing, and whips right back out again. And Wonder Woman goes, holy shit, what was that? And the Invisible Man says, I don't know, but my ass really hurts.
Yeah.
You're never going to be able to put this clip online now. I'm sorry.
No, it's been streamed, so it's out there forever.
Yeah. There goes monetization.
I should have asked if I could say tits or bums before I said anything.
Go for it. I can guarantee my channel is never getting monetized.
Oh, come on, man. Be optimistic. This shit is priceless.
You can go in post. You can go in and post and put a song over that.
Who wouldn't pay to watch 4 fucks sit around and make jokes and paint?
Right.
Well, one of the fuckers is painting, the other 3 are watching the cunt.
Well, I meant that 3 of us are making jokes and one of us is painting.
Yeah. If we were all in the room behind him, we'd all still be making jokes, still be painting, and every once in a while we'd go over and go, oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Oh, you're still doing that? All right, cool.
No, it's happened before.
Do any of you two are you gamers?
I am not a video gamer. I like to play tabletop games, but I don't really have a good group to play with. I've got one group that plays once a week, and that's it.
Is that tonight?
Yeah, it's tonight. And I have to write a story between now and 8 o'clock tonight. So
the thing I want to ask you is, can you throw a dice 2 meters?
2 meters.
Social distancing, isn't it?
Oh, I could. Yeah.
You're not supposed to be throwing dice at people, are you?
We're playing with a random number.
D&D can be a violent fucking game.
Oh yeah.
We're playing online with a random number generator. Oh, jeez.
All right. So you ain't got the 20-sided die.
I do, and it's a 2D20 system. So most tests are done by rolling two D20s. And then damage is done by rolling combat.
Nerds.
I
stopped playing D&D at 80s, me.
Artie, fuck you. That was totally something. Stool would have done.
I remember playing some of the very earliest versions of those kinds of games.
Me too.
And I remember when D&D came out, and nobody that I played those games with started playing that. So that was the end of me in doing that gaming. I was never around anybody ever that I know of that did that until I started making friends on the internet.
I played 2 sessions when I was in 6th grade. No, probably like 5th grade. So let's see, I would have been
9, 10.
So it would have been like 1980. Okay, how old was I? 5, 7, 8. So it probably would have been. It would have been 1983, maybe 82 or 83. And I played, and we played 2 or 3 sessions, and it was fun. But then it never really caught on with my little group of friends who, when we got out to be like, in high school and stuff, we grew way apart and we all did different things. And I just happened to join like amongst the people that would have played those things. And then when I was in high school, I got...
Actually, that's almost exactly... Mine would have happened the summer of... the summer of 83.
Yeah.
Would have been the time that I know I stopped
like
playing.
That red box, like the D&D red box.
Yeah, I started marching band that summer, so I was never fucking home in the summer anyway.
And I did but in high school after I joined the theater. So I started doing theater in high school because I did sports up until then, and I decided I didn't like sports, and the guys were stupid and mean, and I didn't like them, so fuck them. And I started doing theater. There were way more girls in theater anyway, so
Yeah, no shit.
and
Band didn't suck either.
no, band were great for girls too. Oh my god. And I got in and I did one campaign, one or two weekends I did with this one group, and I thought this is fun. And then when I graduated and went to college, there was a dude on my dorm who is my friend today, and he's one of the guys that I'm playing with tonight, who was like, "Hey, want to play a game?" I'm like, "Okay." You ever role play? Yeah. Let's do it. That's where I picked it up again was in college. Mainly.
I wish I could remember what the name of the one series of games we played was. It's like Alpha something. I one of the, well, it's been several years ago now, but I was just then throwing away some of the character cards that I had, character drawings and stat cards that I had for him. So I was just never going to look at it any other time than that one time. And I saw it. It was great. Throw it away.
It's become kind of a trend, it seems like, is to distribute with your game like playing cards. Things the size of playing cards that have like pre-generated characters on them with stats and stuff that you can play right away. Or to have cards that help enhance your play. It's still not a card game. It's still a tabletop role-playing game, but they use cards as a means to distribute certain things or to make random. So you might have like a card stack of events or something, and that would give you like a random event that happens or something that helps play along. I don't know. It's just fun. It's creative storytelling, and I find it super super fun. And usually when it's over, I go, oh, it's only been 3 hours. Can we keep going?
There's a YouTube video of Stephen Colbert playing D&D by himself with the whatever that.
No, he's playing with somebody, isn't he?
No, he's playing alone as he's the lone character.
Right, with a GM. He's got a GM.
Right.
Yeah. I've seen part of it. Steven is a nerd extraordinaire, dude. That guy's.
He is so fucking intelligent. It's sickening that he can be. You know, he's once you get past the ear thing, he's a genuinely attractive guy.
Once you get past the ear.
He's
Somebody had to point the ear thing out to me before I noticed it, and now I can't unsee it.
Oh yeah, no, it's also the deaf ear.
Yeah. he cracked me up.
Which is why it's funny, because every time he goes, for everybody else, that's kind of funny because it's left for him. He really can't hear anything with his ear, so he might. And he sits with his deaf ear. He sits with his deaf ear to the guest out of tradition.
Oh yeah, because traditionally the host is always on our right, on the right hand side. The host is always on stage left.
And it's that ear that's deaf.
Yeah. I can think of one show where the host is not stage left. The host is actually stage right. And it's Jonathan Ross. Jonathan Ross has the guest
Rossi?
left. Huh?
Rossi?
Yeah, Rossi.
I mean Wassi.
Jonathan Ross.
Wassi.
That's an accent I can't replicate. Am I being really loud? I suddenly feel like I'm being really loud.
I wasn't legitimately introduced to who he is because of people that made fun of his speech impediment.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's hysterical too.
Yeah, he's not hurting because of it.
No.
Not exactly suffered.
Do you know what's Graham Norton then?
I do. Love the Graham Norton show. Oh yeah, you're right. Graham Norton sits to the other side of his.
He does. You find a lot of UK chat shows are like that. The classic Mr. Chat show in our country, Michael Parkinson, always sat that side.
You drive on the other side of the road too, which is weird.
The proper side, yeah.
I got to do that when I was in New Zealand. It was one of the things I was looking forward to, was driving on the other side of the road and driving a manual transmission on the other side of the road, which I thought was going to be the hard part. What I didn't realize was the really hard part was learning to look over my left shoulder to see behind me instead of looking over my right shoulder for the rearview mirror. That's the part that screwed me up. Not being on the other side of the road, not shifting with my left hand. That took a little bit of getting used to, but it was pretty quick. But looking over my left shoulder to look in my rearview mirror screwed with my brain for some reason. I couldn't. It was forever.
Yeah, I hadn't considered that before you said that. And I'm pretty sure that I think I would have a problem using my left hand
To shift.
It was my left hand.
So we did an automatic. We did a manual transmission on the North Island in New Zealand, and when we got to the South Island, we were like, okay, we had our fun with a manual transmission. Let's just go with an automatic, so that because only of the three of us that were there, only two of us knew how to drive a stick, and the other person wanted to drive a little bit too. So we were like, all right.
I feel like Jesus because you know how to drive a standard transmission.
Yeah, right. It was a skill that I demanded that I learn how to do when I was a kid. I was like, I am not going to be one of these people that doesn't know how to drive a manual transmission. I like driving a manual transmission.
I started doing landscaping the summer of '87,
Uh-huh.
and I learned how to drive a stick on a 1957 GMC 5-ton.
Was the stick on the column or on the floor?
It was on the floor, and I swear that there was about this much play in the stick. Not even exaggerating.
I bet there weren't any center mesh in there either, were there?
Finding gears was a treat. Yeah, no, the plate was all fucking fucked up, and yeah, that was all a mess.
So I am honestly a little bit jealous of the UK that the standard is still a manual transmission and not an automatic transmission.
Yeah. With the advent of electric cars coming, though, that's all going to disappear.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're all going to be like driving a.
Because it only has one gear, an electric car. Well, two.
Oh,
forward.
that's a good point. Electric car.
Yeah, forward and backwards.
Something else.
I've got a Subaru that I can program fake gear changes into.
My Toyota 4Runner has something it calls Sport Drive, and that lets you change the gears, but there's no clutch. You just push it whenever you want.
Yeah, no, my car's got paddles. It's got set ones, but I can also set the automatic shifts to be a little more jerky.
Oh wow!
So it feels like an actual gear change. I'm like, why the fuck would anybody do this? What?
I spent ages as a kid learning how to change gears without anybody in my car being able to feel that I was changing gears, because I didn't want them to go, oh, here we go, we're changing gears. I spent ages learning how to do that. Damn it!
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, I can remember the year. It was '86 that the new body style for the Camaro came out.
Mm-hmm.
And a buddy of mine at college had one who turned out to be, after he got out of school, he was an IRS investigator.
Oh,
he had vanished for 12 years. Nobody had any idea where he was. His name was untraceable. And then he stops being an IRS investigator and everybody can talk to him again. Really fucking weird. But he had this fucking Camaro, and he let me borrow it to go see my girlfriend when we went to this town up northern Indiana from college. And the clutch had a big swinging clutch. I mean, big swing to that clutch. But the actual part that was useful was about right here. And it was about an inch of that whole paddle fucking travel. And I got into a parking spot with his brand new fucking car, legitimately 8 inches longer on each end than the fucking car I was in. It took me like 15 minutes to. And every time with that goddamn clutch, where I had to get right to the. Oh, right. Foot down. Okay, breathe for a minute.
That's
now
funny.
reverse, find the sweet spot in the clutch again.
what
Okay.
what is traffic like in the UK? Do you guys have like the bumper to bumper stop and go traffic?
It depends where you go. I mean, I don't think it's anything like America.
I get because one of the complaints I get from people over here all the time is, "Oh, I like a stick too, but geez, then there's traffic." And I'm thinking that doesn't really bother me that much to have to work the clutch while I'm in traffic. I mean, if my leg gets tired of holding the thing down, I just put it in neutral and take my foot off the clutch. No big deal.
That's how we're taught. They used to say if you're waiting longer than 6 seconds, the handbrake comes on, and you
Yeah,
have to.
exactly. I just people don't. I don't know. People complain, and I guess they just get used to like, here's an automatic, yay. And I've been driving an automatic for about 2 years now. I bought my new Toyota 4Runner 2 years ago, and I was super disappointed that I couldn't get it in a standard transmission or a manual transmission. Not even if I like ordered it from Japan or whatever, I couldn't get a manual transmission on it, which annoyed the shit out of me.
In this country, if you take your driving test in an automatic, you can't drive a manual.
Really? That's actually a good idea. I mean, it shouldn't be. If you haven't learned and had your test on it or whatever, you probably shouldn't.
I mean, an automatic's just like driving one of those sort of. It's like driving a Dodgem car.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You just put your foot on your go, don't you?
When I was taking the short plane ride from the North Island to the South Island in New Zealand, I was sitting next to this girl who was a local, and we started chatting a little bit. And one of the things we started talking about was like the difference in speeds and kilometers and miles per hour and stuff.
Is that how you chat up girls?
Huh?
Is that how you chat up girls?
Yeah, that's how I chat, girls. We talk about speed limits and stuff.
It's not as proud as point.
I bet you were smoking after that.
And she had a really great theory about why they have so many accidents over there. And one of the reasons is because there's a lot of people from Japan that will vacation there. And in Japan, it's really hard to get a driver's license and to get a car because you have to prove that you have space to park the car. And space is at a premium over there. So lots of people don't drive over there. They use just public transportation in like Tokyo and stuff. And so they'll fly over to New Zealand and they'll just show their driver's license and they'll rent a car and they'll say, okay, here are the keys. Have fun. Keep left. And there's no like test. They just assume the person knows how to drive when really they probably have a driver's license for identification purposes, but they don't actually do a lot of driving. And so they'll get pulled over a lot for speeding, or they'll get into accidents because they'll forget the left-right thing or whatever it is. Whereas everybody in my car, we were like, okay, keep left, like we were like on it. We're like, okay, we're about to turn left. That means I need to turn into the near lane, not the far lane, like I would normally do. And I think there was only one time where like we lost it and went, oh my god, keep left, shit, wrong way.
Oh, I had that happen.
One time where we did that.
I was driving underneath the oh fuck, what's the hell? What the heck's the bypass in Chicago? Anybody from Chicago's gonna shit my damn. God damn it, I can't. The Dan Ryan.
Yeah.
And I'm driving underneath that, and I've got two friends of mine that live in Chicago with me, and I'm cruising along, and they both said, "You gonna stop for this light up here?" And I did not see a stoplight anywhere in anything that I was looking at. And then they're like, "Are you gonna stop for this light?" And I look around, and I don't see a stoplight fucking anywhere. And then I blow through the intersection, and they're like, "Did you not see the light?" Like, I just want you to know that I did not see the light, Your Honor. I did not know I was putting all of our lives in jeopardy. I did not see the light.
I'm sorry. I was blinded by the light, revved up like a douche under the brother.
it was just, there's so many steel girders and train tracks and all kinds of other shit going on. I did not see anything.
Yeah. Actually, this is way off tangent, but like thinking about how our brains process shit sometimes, driving is something that's kind of amazing. How much information our brains are able to take in and process very quickly in order to make driving a thing that actually happens.
Yeah.
Like, without getting into that, it's kind of amazing that way.
It's one of those things that they realized when they started creating the automatic drive systems. Like, what exactly is important that you're looking at? What isn't important that you're looking at? How might those things change over time? And then you got to program that shit into a system that
recognizes it.
Yeah, predictive system. Like, is that a human?
I feel like the loud Americans are talking a whole lot, and we're not getting a whole lot out of our UK compatriots over there.
I figured Triax is concentrating.
I'm sat here fascinated. It's a spectacle to me.
They're probably going, oh my God, loud Americans, they're loud.
It's nice to see Artie with his Broncos t-shirt on.
Yeah, I've been a Broncos fan since 1976, and I live in Indiana.
I have my "Please Don't Eat Me" shirt on. I'm waiting for the thing to change.
Oh, dude, that's great.
There we go. It's a pig holding some flowers, saying, "Please."
That is.
Totally. I'm not a meat is murder kind of guy, but I don't. If I don't get meat, I don't miss it.
All right, so we better not mention bacon then, Triax.
God
Jesus,
of bacon. Oh, you need. Oh yeah. Don't be pissing off God of bacon.
That's one of the things I am dying to try when I eventually make it over to the UK, because in 2017 that was going to be my vacation. I was going to go by myself to England, and I was going. My plan was to have no plan. My plan was to go over there and just do. And then like, oh, I need a place to stay? Let me find a place to stay real quick.
Yeah.
And I was just going to do whatever I wanted, whatever came naturally. And I didn't have a whole lot of interest in seeing a whole bunch of touristy sites.
So you've never read any Bill Bryson books?
No, I haven't.
He's a really good travel author who's really way more famous in the UK than he is here, but he's from Wisconsin. And
with a corn tortilla.
met his wife while they were working at a psychiatric hospital, I think. He was like a
patient.
He was like a ward dude, and she was a nurse, I think.
Hello, nurse.
He wrote my favorite book, which is A Walk in the Woods. He was also a travel.
Oh, I've got that. I haven't read it yet, but I got it on my shelf in my room.
I'm a huge Mark Twain fan, but that's my favorite book.
Cool. A coworker friend of mine bought that for me because she knows I like the backpack, and I've done several.
Oh yeah, that you should absolutely. I got a couple other books I can look up for you that are worthwhile reading.
Oh, yeah, hit me with some links or something.
Yeah, I will. Remind me when I'm not this drunk.
Sounds good. One of the things that I'm dying to do over there, and this is going to sound stupid to you guys probably, but I want to go to a Tesco.
Wow.
And I want to have a full English breakfast. I've heard of it and I've seen pictures of them, and I know they're way too big for me to eat all at once. I would probably just be able to like eat a little bit of everything or something.
Noob.
But I want even blood pudding or whatever, or black pudding or whatever the hell it's called. I'll try it.
Yeah.
I don't care.
It's nice, yeah.
Is it good?
You want to try it on a ferry crossing when the sea's a bit rough.
Oh, is that the good time to try it?
Oh yeah.
That sounds like a great way to induce vomit.
That sounds like the person that's telling me to try Vegemite, and that I needed to do it like by the spoonful.
Yeah.
I needed to layer that Vegemite on real thick.
Vegemite is the watered down Marmite, basically.
I've had both Marmite and Vegemite.
It's jellied Marmite.
Yeah. We get Marmite peanut butter here.
I don't mind them, honestly. They're a little salty.
It's like putting soy sauce on a fucking cracker.
One of the best places I stayed in New Zealand was an Airbnb Christchurch,
I used
where
to
we
live
had
in
the whole
Christchurch.
house to ourselves, huh?
I I lived in both New Zealand and Japan. Funnily enough,
Hey.
yeah, I lived in Canterbury. Christchurch is kind of
Oh, I
on the
love it.
coast.
If
Fucking
I
show off.
if I were to do New Zealand, because I did both islands in 10 nights and 11 days, and if I were to go again, I would need to spend a lot more time because I fell in love with that place, and I would totally. The amount of time I spent there wasn't enough.
You'd fit in well in New Zealand. They all have beards.
Oddly enough, I didn't have a beard when I went.
Oh,
But
no.
my ex girlfriend lives I was gonna say she lives in Christchurch, but she lives about an hour or so away from Christchurch. She's a
North,
school teacher.
south.
I don't know. I don't remember. She's a school teacher in a place where they have a one-room schoolhouse, and she teaches all the grades in one room.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And her husband is a sheep farmer.
Well, of course, in New Zealand.
Growing up, her parents were
Good point.
dairy farmers.
Well,
Her first pet was a cow. And oddly enough, I still remember her parents' phone number, even though they don't live at that phone number anymore. I found out.
that's funny.
That's not creepy at all.
Yeah.
011-646-273-4280. I have that committed to memory from when I was in high school.
I don't remember my parents' birthdays, but I remember my son's mom's birthday, mine, my brother's, and one other girlfriend's, and not the current one.
I like how you said that.
and also a waitress from Hooters.
I know her birthday is coming up, but we just started dating again.
Oh, gotcha.
Like, God damn it. Now I gotta find some way to get into her shit to figure out when her goddamn birthday is.
This was the first girl that I fell in love with. And we were only like 16, 17 at the time, and we didn't break up. The school year ended, and her exchange program was over, and she had to go home.
Yeah.
We didn't break up. So yeah, we kept it going for about 2 or 3 weeks after she got home, when one day I got a letter from her new boyfriend.
Oh, wow, that was tactful.
It was all right. And you want to know the really sad
No, that could have been handled better.
I still have it somewhere in the attic or in storage somewhere.
You are on the other half of the fucking planet away.
It was going to happen, whatever. We're still great friends. We got to meet this last in 2017, and I kick myself for we didn't take a picture. We had no picture.
Oh, wow.
I was so pissed.
I will admit that I have taken hundreds of vacation pictures where there are no fucking people in any of them.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute. Where did you get this picture? I don't remember. Who are you with? Well, I know who I was with, but there's no picture.
The sad thing, so at the time, I went with my then girlfriend, who I thought I was going to marry. And I asked her to marry me on that trip, and it did not turn out like I expected.
Yeah. I got
Did her
that.
boyfriend write you a letter as well?
Huh, what?
Did her boyfriend write you a letter as well?
Yeah, no. I'll tell you that story in a second, though.
That's a good swing, though.
Her friend was with us. Her friend's a black girl, which the only reason I mention that is because it plays into this story. Because she had experienced a couple of times on the trip in New Zealand a few slights that she thought was due to the color of her skin, and so she was a little miffed about it. And so when the four of us were sitting around this table, my old friend from high school, my ex-girlfriend, my current girlfriend, and her friend, we're all sitting around this table talking. Like, my girlfriend's friend, she's got kind of a dominating personality anyway, but she just wanted to sit there and talk about like race relations in New Zealand and is it really like this and blah blah. And my old friend had to say, look, if we had more than a couple of hours, that would be fine. I would love to sit here and talk with you about this, but really, I'm here to see my old friend from high school that I haven't seen in 20 years. And that shut her up like now.
And I wish you had the decency to recognize that.
okay, thanks very much, because I didn't want Sip to say anything, but because of all that like drama stuff, we forgot to take a fucking picture, and it makes me so angry that I didn't get a picture with my old friend.
What was the cunt's name that wouldn't shut up?
I don't remember her name.
Track her down.
Grateful of, because it broke my heart after the girl said no, but I don't remember her name now either. I was trying to think of it earlier, and if I thought really hard, maybe I could come up with it, but then I started thinking, fuck it. Why are you trying to remember this name again? Who cares? No, I just remembered it. Shit, I just remembered her name. Her name was Casey. Anyway, but that it was weird when she turned me down. Because I'm an LBGQT whatever ally. I'm an ally.
Nailed it.
I am all for that shit. Love is love. Do your thing, whatever. But she started asking, and I'm not the most manly guy around. I don't have big muscles. I don't know.
You actually remind me very distinctly of a very gay friend of mine. It's not just the beard; it's the smile and the nose, and
apparently I give off the vibe. So, and she starts asking like whether or not I question my sexuality, and I'm like, no. I'm just very huggy, and I'm very open, and it doesn't. I'm secure enough in my own masculinity that it doesn't bother me to be around gay men or to like. It just doesn't bug me. I don't give a shit. And later on, it turned out I think it turned out she was asking me because she was questioning her sexuality, and I was like, oh, okay. Well, I hadn't thought about that.
Wow.
Oops.
That's aggressive bitch.
She was a bit of a tomboy. She knew more about like engine compression and fixing small motors and other stuff that guys typically. She was very tomboyish, and so then it occurred to me later. Oh, she might have been asking because maybe she was whatever.
I'm pretty sure she'd have been the one that I tried to hit on him.
I used to do a lot of theater, and I thought, hey, straight guy in the theater.
There's no lesbians in theater.
Lots of women. It'll be a target-rich environment.
We call them lovies.
I got hit on by so many guys. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah. Oh,
like, hey, want to go back to my place afterwards and trade?
Play some D&D.
Yeah. Mine and yours.
And they were lovely people. I'm still friends with all. Well, I say I'm still friends with all them. I haven't talked to any of them in ages. Since I quit Facebook, they all like ghosted, and I'm gone. Like as soon as I left Facebook, it's like I didn't exist anymore. But I don't know. That was my. I don't know why I was going off on that story. New Zealand.
That's why I left Facebook.
In New Zealand. And almost getting married, or at least asking somebody to marry you, and them saying, let me think about it, and then when we finally get back, them saying, no.
I've had 2 no's and a don't ask me.
I borrowed my mom's ring.
I am killing it, man.
Like I asked my mom to borrow her ring so that I could give it to her as an engagement ring. Oh man.
Oh, I bought a fucking ring, and the guy took it back because I brought it back 2 days later, and I told him what had happened. He's like, it didn't charge me a restocking fee, nothing.
Oh, that's customer service right there, bitches.
Yeah, no, the dude felt so bad. I mean,
that's customer service, man.
I was full on puffy because I'm bawling as I'm making my way through the mall to get to this fucking jewelry shop. It's like it's $2,700, man.
Just make it to the thing. Oh, you want to hear about a bullet I dodged? Holy shit! So I was in a play I was in a musical for Hairspray. Anybody familiar with the musical Hairspray?
Yeah.
You're all naked, aren't you, in that?
Oh no, that would be Hair. You're thinking of Hair.
Oh, right, okay.
Hairspray.
Hairspray was what's her face that had the talk show?
Yeah.
Ricky Lake.
What's her name?
Yeah, Ricky Lake.
Ricky Lake, yeah.
Ricky
So
Lake.
Hairspray. And there's a girl who plays the nerdy chick whose character name I can't remember. But the girl playing her is a dancer, so super lithe body, slim, super gorgeous. Oh my god! So we dated for about
the one I bought the ring for.
2 or 3 weeks, and holy shit, was it awesome!
The one I bought the ring for was the daughter of a choreographer on fucking Broadway.
Oh.
She was
Dancers. I'm telling you, if you can get a dancer, oh my god, they're in shape. Holy shit!
Yeah, right now I'm dating a 46-year-old ballet, but
There you go.
She's also had 3 giant kids since then.
You want to try dating a gymnast, the kind of girl that can lick your balls while you're giving her it doggy style.
Right?
My favorite was I dated a girl who was a gymnast, but her hand went to about right here, so I was huge. It felt like Godzilla.
We're like Deadpool's hand.
Yeah, a little bit.
I was devastated when this girl was like, "Nope, it's over." Blah blah blah. But then, like, I looked her up probably 3 or 4 months ago, not too long ago. She's a Trump supporter. Holy shit! Did I dodge a bullet? Oh my god!
Well, no, I'm guessing you to realize that before you. I hope.
I dodged a damn bullet. Well, politics never came up.
I never dated somebody that had different politics than mine, and I'd like to think that I was capable of it, because the girl I'm dating now is a Christian. So could I date somebody who had different politics? And then the answer is no, I can't. And there's no fun.
Yeah, no, I think it's too fundamentally different.
Yeah, no, I'm a fiscal conservative, but if you're even a little bit socially conservative, you make me sick.
Because I lean a little bit more democratic socialists, which is going to be a lot of like social programs and a lot of, hey, we're going to pay higher taxes, but we're all going to be better off for it kind of thing.
Yes, here's my position, even as a fiscal conservative, is if it saves most people money, that's the most fiscally conservative way of doing it. And a lot of that route, socialized medicine is absolutely the cheapest way of doing it.
The attitude I hate is, why should I pay for you to blah, blah, blah? Well, fucker, you're paying for yourself as well.
Yeah, do you pay for insurance?
You get the benefit from that shit too.
Yeah, I'm paid for your goddamn kids to go to school. Fuck you.
I know. Did you go to public school? Ta-da!
Yeah.
Fantastic. You benefited from a social program. All we're trying to do is extend that to the university level. And we're not saying do away with private school, where you can feel free to spend your own goddamn money on a private school and get a better education or whatever. And maybe it is. Who knows?
Well, Indiana, our state taxes go to private schools if that's where the student goes.
Oh, really? Well, there you go. I mean,
Did I mention Governor Pence at all?
Did I mention white bread, mayonnaise? Gotta ask mama for permission.
Yeah,
Governor
uber Christian. I can't even wash my own dick.
It might get that funny feeling if you put too much soap on it.
Yeah, no.
So
he actually stood on this floor of Congress and said, "Evolution is a theory, just like creation."
Oh, Jesus.
That's a matter of public record. That's a.
I just want to go to people like, I was thinking about this the other day. Creationists will often come up with, "Oh, evolution is a theory." I'm like, you don't understand the word theory when it's.
Whoever taught you science needs to be shot in the face.
Do you realize? Do you believe? Do you know that germs cause disease? It is germs that get on you.
How dare you?
Suddenly you're germy and you've got diseases. Did you realize that's called germ theory? It's
Theory of gravity. Tim Minchin's got my favorite reference of that is people that
I would suck Tim Minchin's dick for a ticket to his show.
I can't. Of the people I want to hang out with when they're drunk, he tops that fucking list.
Hell yeah! I would absolutely love to hang out with Tim Minchin at like a Steak and Shake.
His comment about people that didn't believe in the theory of evolution was that I hope they don't believe in the theory of gravity, and so they can just float the fuck away.
Well, yeah.
Have you seen the video of him giving a commencement speech? And
That's fucking brilliant.
Oh, it's brilliant.
One of the most honest fucking commencement speeches I've ever seen.
I love it.
Life sucks.
I would put that shit on my resume if I was in that graduating class.
Oh yeah, I was there.
I was there. I saw Tim Minchin give the I was there.
He's probably among the most brilliant. The amount of talent is sickening. I mean,
for sure.
Thank goodness he's not
evil,
really attractive.
Oh, well, with the hair you're not.
Well, no, I'm not saying he's unattractive, but he's no supermodel, and thank goodness for that, because then he would probably be dead, because that's just too much.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be like if Tom Brady could play Eruption on a guitar.
He is not only extremely smart, but just so funny and talented as a motherfucker.
Yeah,
I don't even know what it would be like to be that smart or be that talented.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Colbert, have you ever seen the performance of the waiter who is sickened by food?
Yes, and he's constantly got.
Have you either of you guys seen it?
Right now.
It's a really good little vignette.
I'm afraid of whom?
It's like 10 minutes of theater. It's so fucking funny.
Can I just pause to say, look at how far this flag has come since we've been sitting here chatting about bullshit. It's come a really long way. I remember when it was just like kind of a flat black dark gray thing. That's very cool.
So
does the bulk of it stay black?
Yeah. I'm gonna be doing
Okay.
a little bit extra, and then I'll be doing a few edge highlights.
Every once in a while I'm glancing up, going, oh yeah, a little bit more. And then my brain goes, remember what it was like 2 minutes ago?
Yeah, this is how I normally paint. It's just creep on it, slowly but surely.
Is Globey still around, or did my loud American ass?
No, I think he's around. Unless he's dropped off by mistake.
Can't. I just posted a video to
We wanted me. Oh,
to the YouTube chat. Yeah, we're looking for you. We thought maybe you died and we need to dial 111.
No, I just need to go get a drink.
If I was to take a trip, I don't feel like I can do it this year. I mean, I probably could, not even monetarily, but just with the stuff that's going on with my company right now. I'm not sure that it would be a great time to take an extended period of time and travel. But if in, say, 2021, if I were to take a trip, when would be the best time to go? And where would be the best? I need to figure out where my UK friends are, because I've got a handful. Where would be the best place to go where we could all, even if everybody had to travel a little bit to get there, where would be a good centralized place where everybody could get to, where we could have a drink for the night or something like that? I gotta figure that out.
Yeah, you should plot that shit on a map.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, wherever I am, because I can't afford to go anywhere.
Where are you?
No. we'll just all do a Kickstarter to get an Uber for him or something.
I'll get a Kickstarter, and I'll do a Kickstarter, and or what's the other? Not Kickstarter. What's the other one?
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe. I could do like a GoFundMe, and I could pay for everyone's travel just so that I could meet all my friends, all my UK friends. Because I know that Liz is in the south near the coast. Traxy, you're near the southern coast, you said.
Mm-hmm.
I think Stooley is somewhere near Manchester, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, boo.
Could be.
Fuck him. Manchester.
And for crying out loud, I don't know, some place where I can go say, okay, here's where I'm at. Everybody come and I'll have a drink. I'm good with that. That'd be fun.
I did a little bit of math, and I calculated that if everybody that I was friends with that didn't live in the United States were to meet somewhere, it would work out really well for me because it's roughly Germany.
Germany? Everybody just go to Germany. We'll meet there.
And we can hit Oktoberfest in Germany
In
as
September.
planned. That would be epic.
I'd be down with that. I know at least 2 German people.
I know. Well, I know one. I'm friends with one.
Sean?
No, he's a guy I went to high school with.
Wait, we
Oh,
got DDF. Oh, what's his fucking real name?
He's in a band. I think they're
You're a
called
band.
the Golden Monkeys or something like that. Yeah, no.
Whenever I go to the movies and I give my ticket to the guy who's taking the tickets, I always tell him I'm with the band.
Yeah.
Because I think that's funny.
I saw him at our
Whatever.
10-year high school reunion. Somebody paid for him to come back from Germany for our reunion, and I'm hanging out with him.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm hanging out with him, and he's telling me how he's been living his life for the last few years, and he's obviously been living hard. And he goes, well, mostly I pay for a Europass renewal every year, and I'll get on the train and I'll go somewhere and get off, and then I'll just stay there and go out to clubs and smoke a bunch of pot and blah blah blah. And then when I run out of money, I'll get a job working construction and get back on a train and go somewhere else and do the same thing. And he spent like 7 years doing that. I was like, man, that's a hard way to live, man.
Part of me goes, sounds kind of cool. I can get down with that, maybe.
Yeah, on the one hand, I'm a little jealous, but on the other hand, I got 2 dogs that I really like having 2 dogs.
Exactly. Yeah, I was looking I seriously looked into this last year. What would it take to move to another country? And I considered 2 countries. I considered New Zealand and Canada. Because I just had such a good time in New Zealand, and it was such a beautiful place. It was awesome. And they're looking for technical people. So if you're a developer, a designer, some sort of
that's handy for you.
They're looking for people like that. And so I'm
How
like,
were they stocked for nurses, just in case I have this conversation with the other half?
but Canada would be so much easier. But I even went as far as to like contact an immigration attorney, and I don't qualify.
Yeah, immigration's complicated.
I'm too old. So there's a test you can take. It's called the CRS test, and I can't remember what CRS stands.
Can't remember shit.
Huh? Can't remember
shit.
Exactly. I can't but you answer a bunch of questions and you get a score, and the attorney that I contacted is basically looking at your score on that test and deciding whether or not it's worthwhile to represent you. And I'm not worthwhile representing. I don't have a college degree. I don't speak French. I don't have an employer that's trying to get me to move over there. I'm not married to anybody over there. I'm not related to anybody over there. And I'm 44, which at the age of 44, I get 1 point on this test. And as soon as I turn 45, I get 0 points on this test. Because apparently I'm too fucking old at 45. Because they're looking for younger people and people who are going to marry and produce children and make more citizens, which I get.
All of it makes
I
sense.
would be perfectly willing to make some more citizens when I get over there. Because there's a lot of attractive Canadian women. I'm just gonna say.
And I can bottle my shit.
I will bottle my shit and put it with a turkey baster. Come on, let's go. But so, and then when I started looking at New Zealand, it was really the dogs that came into play because they are super strict on what kind of animals can come in and do they have to be. And the thing is, if you get them there and they're deemed not able to enter, they just euthanize them. And I'm like, fuck no.
Yeah, there
Now
was
you're gonna give me a chance to like take them home, like, and change my mind and go home.
yeah, no, there's another country that does it. It might be Mexico. No, that can't be right. There's another country that does that, and it's just mind-boggling. It's just mind-boggling that country would do that. Like New Zealand seems to be way more progressive than to think that because that dog has set foot at an airport,
they're
and it now has to be euthanized because it was there.
They're super strict on their ecosystem, and I get that. And I mean, chances are I'd get them there and there would be no problem. But I wouldn't gamble that. I'm not going to gamble my baby's lives with.
It's a hateful fucking risk to ask somebody to take.
Right? Exactly. So I'm like, I'm not doing that. Even though the people were lovely, I think their government's fantastic. I've heard their prime minister talk a couple times, and I think there's no perfect country. They're not without their problems, just like the UK is not without their problems. They've got like the hell is the name of the English Defense League? EDL, isn't that right?
Yeah.
I mean, every country's got their dickheads and their xenophobes and whatever. I'm just saying that I really enjoyed my time in New Zealand, and it's a beautiful place down there, and I could easily see myself living down there, but I'm not gonna gamble my dogs' lives with that. Plus, I don't know how my dogs would do on a 22-hour flight across the ocean from. I mean, I got to watch movies and drink booze and make 22 hours go by.
Shorty's going to be 13 in January. I'm not putting her in a fucking box under a fucking no.
Right? Screw that.
No, I won't travel without her, which is about to make something a little more complicated than it needs to be, but I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And I've got a thing about never leaving an old dog at home while you go on vacation.
I've
invariably come home to either a dead or very sick dog.
I've got a pet sitting service that I use that I like. They're kind of expensive, but they come by. They send me text pictures of the dog to me when they're playing with them, and they'll do other stuff. And because Sophie can't really do a lot of the hard backpacking trips that I like to do now,
right?
And but Maggie can, and Maggie likes to go. And Sophie wants to go really, really bad, and I want to do something where she can come, but when she can't come, it breaks my heart to leave her at home. I don't want to leave her, and I've even paid extra.
The first time I pushed Rudy too hard and had to carry home a 60-pound dog, I found the limit. We did a lot of hiking along creek beds. It's very flat. It's very pretty.
I did. There was one.
Nobody could smell the pot smoke from there.
There was one trip in southern Texas in a Lake Georgetown. It's very rocky, and what I didn't realize that we had one day left in the trip, about 8 miles or so, but it was only like 3 miles from a point where we could go back and bail out with some cars, and so it was either 3 miles back or 8 miles to the very end, and. That morning I woke up and I was like, all right, Sophie, let's go. And she was like crying. She didn't want to come, which is unusual because she loves going and hiking's her favorite thing. What I didn't realize is that all of the last day that she'd been walking on all these sharp rocks and it cut her paws up. Like the pads of her paws were peeling away. And so her paws hurt. And so I carried her as far as I could back the 3 miles to get to somebody's car so that we could bail out on the rest of the trip, and that was one of the last trips she got to go on with me. But I've even gone as far as to like pay the dog sitter to come over the night before, so that when I leave, she's not alone. Because leaving her alone by herself when I'm going off and I'm taking Maggie with me, like the first part of that trip for me sucks because I'm sitting there bawling my head off. Why did I leave my dog by herself?
Yeah.
She just wanted to come.
Yeah.
So,
Topher and I both have
two.
2 dogs, and our dogs look remarkably similar.
Oh, it's weird.
At first blush, they're virtually identical.
Yeah.
They aren't, but
Maggie's 5 and Sophie is 6. They're about a year apart. Or for my dogs, yours is 13 and how old?
Eddie's the best guess is that I think he's going to be 4.
That's the black and tan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shorty has gotten a lot of gray hair very quickly, and when I wanted to talk about this a little bit earlier, well, quite a bit earlier. One thing that I had completely neglected to even consider when I split up with the ex that I'm now with again, after being in and out of each other's lives for 5 years, was that she has some very serious affection for the woman that I had not even thought about. And now that we're seeing each other again, it just warms my cockles every time I see how happy she is to see her. There's 2 people in her life that she is, well, 3 people that she's absolutely in love with. Me, my mom, and Dee.
Oh, that's nice.
And I come to the realization that those are 3 women that actually love me. So one more tick in her fucking honor, because she's the best fucking dog, dude. I've never had a better dog.
I am my dog.
And I think Eddie is going to end up being better than her.
So Sophie is not the cuddler. She does a little bit, but Maggie she's a way better cuddler. She'll sit there and push herself into me, like her head. She'll put her forehead into me and like just push, and then she'll take this deep sighing breath, like this is the best place she's ever been. Yep. And she's awesome. She's also an attention whore. She wants to center of attention all the time. Talks a little bit because I feel bad. Like she starts to moan and roo, and Sophie feels like she has to move. I'm like, no, you stay right there. You were here first.
I do a lot of that shit in the house too.
But I remember the first time I was going to have Sophie groomed professionally, which I never actually had done, because I didn't realize that when we showed up for our 1:00 appointment that they weren't going to take her right away. No, they were going to put her in a kennel and make her wait until the stylist was ready or the groomer was ready. And it was too close to the time that I got her from the shelter where she had spent the last who knows how long living in a little bitty cage.
Yeah, Shorty grew up.
A little bitty, but we're not talking like cruel little bitty, but it's a kennel. And I just remember giving her to the lady and like being upset about it, but like going, okay, fine. And she was walking down this little hallway, and she looks back at me like, what are you doing? Why am I having to go into the thing? What's going on? And she was in there for about 5 minutes before I went back and said, no, just cancel my appointment. I'm good. Just give her back. Done.
Yeah.
It was like, I'll bathe her at home. I'll figure it out. It's no big deal.
Yeah, I spoiled the shit out of Rudy and let her come with me virtually everywhere. And on those rare occasions where she had to be left in the car, she was horrible.
I leave mine in the car. Like, I can't leave them in the car now. It's too fucking hot outside. But during the fall or the winter when it's not too hot, if we go somewhere, if I stop in the grocery store for a few minutes, I'll leave them in the car. It's not a big deal. If I go to the gas station and they're with me, I can leave the windows rolled down, like the big hatchback in the back rolled down, and just tell them to stay, and they'll sit there and stay. No matter what's happening, they'll sit back there. And people will be like, man, your dogs don't go nowhere. I'm like, I know, it's cool. But
they like where they're at.
They're good where they're at. I don't have to worry about them running off. Like, even when I've traveled cross country with them, if we pull into a big gas station stop to gas up, I just let them out, and they walk with me over to the far reaches of the gas fields next to the bathroom, and they just come with me. I don't ever put them on a leash. We're in a strange place that none of us have ever been to.
I put my dogs in the kennel. I kenneled them at Cedar Point or Kings Island, one of the big roller coaster amusement parks that are very near me.
Right.
Cedar Point's kind of a world famous one for roller coaster.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the one I recognize.
We kenneled the dogs, and I had Rudy and Pavlov. Neither of them I have now, but Rudy's the one that made every dog after her great.
Uh-huh.
And Pavlov was very much like Eddie, except I had him as a puppy, and he just acted like he was beaten every day of his life. He was an Omega. But they'd been kenneled all day, and they were in concrete kennels. I know they had water all day, and I know they got fed while they were there. And we picked the dogs up, a friend of mine and I, and she's got Rudy, and I've got Pavlov, and we start to walk away from the facility. It's dark, and we're walking across this asphalt that's been sealed with tar. I don't know how many fucking times. And we're at kind of the top of the hill, and Pavlov stops, jerks me back, and starts to pee. He peed for 97 seconds.
Holy shit.
He was still peeing when his stream of pee making its way down the hill, a good 10 meters, was just getting to the drain, and he was still peeing.
Oh, good boy. He held it a long time.
Rudy had peed. Obviously, Pavlov had not. And he had plenty of water, but for whatever reason, he wouldn't pee. He never peed on concrete, at least as far as he was concerned. So he was just ill-prepared.
I can say hello. Hello. I can say hello. Come on. I'm trying to make a noise so that the camera will switch to me. Hey, look. Because I got Maggie. Yeah, there she is. Oh,
Yeah.
come on.
Doggos.
That's my big girl.
Eddie.
There she is. Oh, we're out of frame. We're still out of frame. Come here. It's getting near 4 o'clock, and so she starts coming in going, hey, I need food.
Come here.
Like 4 o'clock rolls around, I can set my clock.
See, and this is Eddie. This is why we say we've got identical dogs. This is Eddie. He's just a little bit more tan than she is. She's pale.
Yeah, right? Exactly. They're virtually the same dog. It's ridiculous.
They're so fucking similar.
I love it.
Yeah, somebody thought they had to beat this dog.
Right? That's the one you said is about 4?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so mine's about 5. So they're about the same age. And so Eddie, I'm assuming Eddie's a boy, right?
Yeah.
You didn't name a girl dog Eddie, I'm guessing.
Yeah, no, I named him after Cousin Eddie from the Vacation movies.
Love it.
Right, the banner is now complete.
Sweet action.
Let's see it. We got color while we read it.
Ow.
That's gorgeous.
Oh, wait a minute, I forgot something.
Oh, sorry, I missed watching that.
I like the white highlights, the edge highlighting, like there's light glinting off it, but really that's paint.
You can hardly tell that you started with putting silver on it by accident.
Yeah. Actually, there's a little bit more edge highlighting that I need to do, and then that part is complete.
Goddamn right there is, you slacker.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard the most about painting the 40K miniatures. Is there's a lot of edge highlight.
Yeah, but there's so many tips and tricks you can do. You don't have to spend like a day highlighting every single edge. It's just like it's a practice and futility.
I would go blind doing that.
I want to get at least one of me done, of one of my characters or something. I would like to be good enough that when I start a campaign, I can go make my character on Hero Forge, have it shipped to me, paint it, and use it for the campaign or something.
Get a bunch of clay and try to model it.
Yeah, there, because I'm that artistic.
No, that's why I said get a bunch of clay, not a spoonful.
just some blobs with some cocktail sticks on.
Yeah, get a block of clay.
Get a big blob of clay then, and not just
get a block of clay and teach yourself how to fucking sculpt what you want to see. It's not that goddamn complicated.
How hard? Is it easier to sculpt and paint, or just paint?
Well, do you want to see your vision come to life or not?
Hero Forge is pretty good. It's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, I don't care what you're willing to settle for. It's not my dream.
Honestly, the sad part is that I've got nobody to play with locally, so all of this shit happens over the internet anyway. So it's not like, even like if I end up building these terrain pieces and stuff, they're not going to get any use because it's just me.
Well, as long as you have.
All the people I have to play with are in Portland. So of my current gaming group, I'm in the Central Time Zone. Everybody else is in the Pacific Northwest Time Zone, Pacific Time Zone, and there's one guy that's in the Alaska Time Zone, whatever that is. So there's one guy in Alaska, 1, 2, 3 people in Portland, and me. 4, yeah, 5. There's 5 of us. No, there's 6 of us. Who am I missing?
Yeah, I've got a friend of mine that is a Portland cop that used me as a reference to get on the force, whose name you can Google.
Really? I suddenly want to Google a dude's name from Portland.
Yeah, hang on, let me. I'll send you a DM in the Twitters.
I
There
posted.
you go. It's fully done and hedge highlighted.
I posted a strange video the other day. Not strange, but
You did really good work, dude.
that is really good. I mean, the lines are really crisp.
Let me just move the light a bit because it's a bit overpowering.
Are you gonna
Also,
paint the knot like it's a different color?
What's that?
Are you gonna paint the knot on the back?
What?
How the knot that ties the fabric to the pole in the back?
Oh no, that's a hand.
Is that a hand?
That's a hand because it's a banner holder. It's like he holds it in his hand.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I did forget something.
You've got Queer in chat as well.
Oh, hiya, Queer. How are
Who's
you
here?
doing?
Oh, Queer. Somebody named Queer. How you doing?
Yep. I'll paint those. Gonna have to dry brush them with a bit of white.
I now know who Topa reminds me of, from somebody from my childhood.
Oh, really?
It was on a children's program called Rent a Ghost. Do you know where I'm going, Trix?
No, I never watched it.
There's a character called Mr. Claypole, and
Mr. Claypole.
he was a jester.
Oh, now I gotta look it up, Mr.
There's a show called Rent a Ghost, and he would be wearing a jester's outfit.
Mr. Claypole home. It's got a 50 page. Rent a Ghost.
Matt White. Actually, no, Mummy Robes. That's the one I need. Mummy Robes. Where's Mummy Robes gone?
Rent a Ghost.
Skeleton bone.
Yeah.
I love it.
Mummy Robes. There you go.
He's perhaps got a more fuller beard than you, but
I had a fuller beard a little while ago, and then I shaved it because it started to get really annoying. I had a beard down to here. It was. I'm waiting for the. Is it catching up to me?
Hey, Topher.
There it is. I was like, no. Yes, sir.
So I sent you this article in the DM.
Okay.
I want to preface it with, he is a very decent guy.
Good.
The fact that he used me as a reference to talk about his pot use in college.
Wow. Well, there's a thing.
Yeah. He was an MP in Mogadishu and was shot at repeatedly and was not allowed to return fire. So he was capable of withstanding being shot at without feeling it necessary to retaliate.
There's a guy I've been watching on YouTube, which I was trying to decide whether I liked him or not, whether he was...
Donut Operator?
I think I decided today that I liked him.
Is it Donut Operator?
Maybe. Let me check. Let me check my history, because I just watched one of his videos before I came in here. Where's my history?
Donut Operator is a fairly conservative.
No, Beau of the Fifth Column.
Oh yeah, no, very different personality types.
Do you know who I'm talking about, though? The guy with the red beard.
Yeah,
He's
he's
sensible.
he's incredibly intelligent. He's incredibly thoughtful and considerate, and
there's a particular video because so I gathered from this video that I watched that so apparently he is like some sort of ex-military dude or whatever, but he did police training, and he was talking about a guy. He had a video up that was talking to a specific guy who remained nameless, a specific police officer, who was saying, I really wish you would come train. I want to know your training. I want to know the things that you know so that I don't hurt somebody. I want to, and it sounded genuine. And the guy was like, no, I'm not gonna. And he told the story behind the last time he did any training. And he was in front of a bunch of people, and I'm going to fuck up the story. I'm not going to get it quite right, but he gave the guy an answer. He says, well, yeah, we write the report, don't we? You know, it's like, you don't want to do this. And he's like, yeah, well, we write the reports. And meaning that, you know, like we can do whatever we want because we're the ones that write the report. And nobody in the class said anything. And he said he stopped teaching from that day. He was like, I'm not gonna teach any more of your people. That's not my. I just was like, oh wow. So I've come to get like a bit of a. I try not to. I don't know. It was until I had to watch a few of his videos before I go. All right, my blood's probably not.
Yeah, I'm with you. I had to decide whether or not he was extreme left or just he's. When I say thoughtful and considerate, I don't mean like in the sense that he's polite. I mean, the guy's a thinker in the genuine sense that he's a thinker. That he thinks about. He assumes the position on a subject that probably didn't cross your mind.
Right, and I'm not even sure that we would agree on absolutely everything.
Yeah, I'm almost certain.
But I would so much rather have somebody like him across the aisle than I would somebody else. It's insane. So I have at least a certain amount of respect for this guy, if nothing else. And what else can you ask for from somebody that doesn't agree with you ideologically? Although it would appear that this guy agrees with me, at least on a few things.
Right.
I'm fully able to agree to disagree on some stuff with people as long as I don't know. I can't handle me any Trump supporters. I can't do, and he's certainly not one of those guys. I don't know. There's something unique about the way that he approaches things, and I like him. I'm glad I stumbled. I think somebody reposted one of his videos on Twitter, and since then he comes up and I go, oh, am I gonna watch that? I don't know if I'm gonna be, because he's got a look about him. He looks like he's gonna be whatever. I mean, totally not. He's very thoughtful. You can see every once in a while in his videos when he stops and thinks about something really quick before he says whatever it is he's going to say. So he's not scripted.
Absolutely.
You know who I'm talking about, though? That dude. Totally. Even if he was a Republican or whatever, and he felt certain ways about something, I would much rather have a thoughtful, non-disingenuous person like that on the other side than somebody like Lindsey Graham or Jeff Sessions or somebody who says one thing, 1 month and blah blah blah, and then is speaking the complete opposite, like he'd never thought that ever before in his life. The next month, I mean, you know what I'm talking about. It's just,
yeah, no, I try to be nothing if not consistent.
Our politics is fucked up, and I know I'm not preaching to the choir here on either side of the pond. But
I am notoriously non-political.
I still feel like you guys have it a little better than we do.
Yeah, what?
I could be completely ignorant here. I did.
We have Trump 2.0.
Yeah, but I'm guessing specifically in my situation that the flagrant bigotry isn't quite as on display near you as it is mine.
Yeah. Well, Johnson's not. He's no picnic.
You hit your camera.
Oh,
Toferj.
did I? Oops.
Yeah, you're really there. You go. Well, we don't need to look at your dick.
Wow.
Oh, wait a second. Hold on. I'm talking.
I mean, we don't need
Right.
to. It's just a bonus, I guess.
Yeah, bonus content.
Like, oh yeah, that's way too low. Way too low.
Yeah, there. That's how monetization dies, Tri-X.
Yeah. It's my poison in the well is I'm amazed the poison in the well's gotten so far.
No, but I retweeted a video the other day, and apparently like somebody had rear-ended Bojo's car or something, some PM's car, I guess. I thought it was Boris Johnson, maybe I'm wrong. Do you guys know the video I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I do not.
All right, so there was a little protest happening. I don't know if it was near 10 Downing or whatever, but there was apparently a little fender bender, like somebody rear-ended the car in front of them, and I think the car in front of them was holding Boris Johnson or something. And then some weird skirmish happened over to the left of the camera, and an ambulance was trying to come in, and there was. What I noticed was that every police officer was wearing the standard, or at least what I think as the standard UK kind of yellow fluorescent, here I am, police jacket kind of thing.
Yeah.
And not a single one of them was dressed like they were going into fucking battle. And
we have separate units for that.
Yeah. I mean,
we have separate wardrobes for that.
Right. They carry. I think I'm aware. Correct me if I'm completely wrong, because my experience is limited. Obviously, they carry a taser, maybe, and if they need somebody that has a gun, like an actual gun, they call them in.
Yeah, we have an armed response unit. Incident response.
Yeah, we used to have SWAT, and now we can just throw everybody into fucking riot gear.
Exactly. SWAT. It used to be SWAT was like a special team that came in only on certain circumstances.
It's funny I say that because actually locally we still have SWAT, and they had 2 SWAT units hit a house up the alley from me, like within earshot. I could hear. I was talking to Peter, and within earshot, I could hear them over the loudspeaker telling people to come out of the house. I'm like, all right, dude, I gotta go check out what's going on.
Hold on.
I leave him on a live stream, and I go look and see what's going on. I go talk to a neighbor for a while, and at that time I'd probably had Eddie for like 3 months, and apparently Eddie stared at the camera the whole time I was gone, and he talked to him.
I love it.
I was gone for like 20 minutes.
Oh my god!
Been talking to my dog.
Now, I will also stipulate that the UK has far less gun crime than we do, and far more knife crime. Which, I would trade gun crime for knife crime any day of the week. I think. And
You've got more chance against a knife guy, haven't you?
On what?
You got more chance against somebody with a knife. You can stand what? Or ways from somebody you're going to shoot.
Yeah. I mean,
They've got to come out to you, haven't they?
Yeah, you can't very well, sit up in a hotel room above a big crowd and throw a bunch of knives into the crowd, hoping to kill a bunch of people.
Well, you could try. It would just be difficult.
You could try. It's just not going to be that effective, probably.
We saw somebody throwing knives like that. We'd expect to see some woman spinning on a board at the other end.
With balloons.
Yeah.
Balloons here.
Because why not?
But I don't want to downplay anything that you guys have to deal with as far as crime goes and whatnot. But I would trade that in a heartbeat, because your murder rate is way lower than ours is, and
it's a gun culture, America, and I think it's just sort of not stemmed back from sort of hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, it really, and we've got movies that glorify it, which is, I love watching those too. I love watching the thing where the good guy comes in and he's strapping, or he's got whatever, and he kicks some ass or whatever. That's fantastic, but that's a fucking movie, people.
Yeah,
it's not
escapism, isn't it?
Exactly. It's not real life, and it's not meant to be real life. And it's if you want to, I'm not a big hunter, but if you want to hunt, if you want to, whatever, that's you guys have guns, long guns for shotguns and bird hunting and other different kinds of hunting as well, right? I'm not wrong with that, am I?
Yeah.
All right, didn't think so. And then, but handguns are harder to come by, if at all. And
that's you can get handguns over here.
yeah,
You do
As
have
long
to
as you
be
get a
in a
decent
shooting
license
club.
for it.
even the process, and I know it's probably not this way there, but thinking about Japan, like in Japan, to get a license for a gun, just a long gun, no handguns, because handguns are prohibitive. But if you want a shotgun to shoot skeet with, to shoot inanimate objects that fly through the air, you have to have a license, and you go through a class, and you take several hours worth of safety training, blah blah, and you get just like we get a driver's license, you get a license. And then when you want to use that gun, you have to go to the place where it's designated to use it, and they have kept that gun for you. You don't get to take it home. You have to leave it there. So not only it's still yours, but you have to leave it at the designated gun place, which is a real big extreme. But that's Japan. It's a very small island where I kind of get that a little bit. I would at least be a proponent of much stricter tests, laws, whatever, to get a license for a gun. And to limit the kind of gun you're allowed to own. And I would limit it to shotguns and hunting rifles and like bolt action-y kind of things, and no more than like 5 or 6 rounds per. I don't know. I could go off and on about. But we've got these people over here who have. You've seen that flag with the yellow flag with the black coiled snake on it, or whatever, and it usually is followed by the phrase "come and take it" or whatever. That's
the "don't tread on me" flag.
Don't tread on me. That's don't tread on me, which is very close to the "come and take it."
I'll see you in hell.
Right.
It's not as persuasive as the license plate slogan from New Hampshire, which is "Live free or die."
Live free or die.
That's on every license plate from New Hampshire.
Right. New Hampshire always. I hate that I live in a state that's like that. You're familiar with who the Proud Boys are? Maybe? I don't know. It's a white supremacist kind of club group. I used to have this picture on my phone. I was on my way home in traffic, and the very big pickup truck in front of me with big tires and a lifted suspension, and look at how big a truck I'm driving, had a license plate that said PRDBOY S. PRDEBOY. Yeah. So Proud Boys. And I was like, oh, you're fucking kidding me.
Right. Nice.
It's to the detriment of me and probably my neighbors, but I've seen enough like Ted Cruz posters out on people's lawns during election time that I'm like, I just don't like going out in my neighborhood because I don't know what people are like out in my neighborhood. Most likely they're all Trump supporters in my neighborhood. I'm relatively friendly with the guy across the street from me and the guy next door to me, but only enough to be like, hey, can I borrow your lawnmower? Hey, you want to borrow my chainsaw? Go for it. Do whatever.
That's way better than my other half knows any of her neighbors, and the only neighbors she knows are because I used to live there.
I wish I knew my neighbors better, and I wish I get the feeling that they're kind of some, and I could be dead wrong, and I hope I am. And if I'm wrong, then it's really only my loss.
Yeah. The guy over here has his hand full with 2 adult autistic children, and the guy over here is most recognizable as being, it was 2 or 3 years ago that I was on a live stream, and I had this window open, and the alley's a good, I don't know, 20 meters or better from this wall, and he got out of his girlfriend's truck, and I could smell him. The truck windows were closed. I'm assuming that her nose is dead. That just no
You're
fucking olfactory senses are just gone.
sit down. Are the workers on strike?
Just raked.
Oh,
He hasn't fixed the bullet hole in his house, quote unquote, because it is a bullet hole, but he hasn't fixed it because he was leaving it unrepaired so that the cops could finally come and take a report about it. But it's been there for like 3 years. Well, I know it's been there for more than 3 years because I've lived here for 3 years. I think he said so, maybe 6 years at this point. He's just a hell of a guy, and this guy paid 6 figures for a house that 8 months ago was probably worth 30 grand.
wow.
Well,
I
will you
just
finish
get
this,
to a
guys?
point where I don't want to leave my house because I was gonna say 9 times out of 10, but if I want to be literal, like 8 times out of 10, the person I run into is probably going to be a Trump supporter. Granted, if it's a black person, which there are quite a few of in my neighborhood, it's not as much of a guarantee, and in fact, they probably aren't. But then you go online, you see on Twitter, and you see like who's that? There's some black chick online wearing a MAGA hat, and
Well, there's at least one, but she's being paid handsomely for it.
It seems like it. I don't know. I'm like, I can't with those people anymore. I'm too exhausted. And I've said it online a couple of times, but I'll say it here. I don't want to go back to business as normal just so that I can be comfortable, because that wouldn't be right. I want like real change, but at the same time, I got to be able to take a step away and go, I can't right now. I can't. I'll lose my shit if I go. I'll be back in the fight in a few minutes. Just give me a second. Just can't sometimes.
Well, I'm nearly finished. Well, for the moment, anyway. Give me a moment. Just edge highlighting. A shit ton. Oh. Probably can't see anything because the part's too small and I haven't refocused my camera. Okay, that's alright for that. Oh, probably did this one a bit too dark, but you know, fuck it. It's too late to change it now. I'll continue talking. This is going to take me a little bit longer.
No, we're just going to sit here in silence and watch it just to put some pressure on.
Yeah.
Oh, you bastards.
Shall I get the countdown clock?
Oh, don't you dare. Which one?
Yeah.
I was just typing in the chat because it looked like I scared Queer away, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I should learn when to shut up."
She comes and he comes and goes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the body done. I just need to edge highlight the mask and put some gold on there. Yeah, just tiny face. Okay, let's see if I can do the focus on that.
Oh,
now let me see if I can do this while holding it in front of the camera properly. Probably not.
It almost looks like Doom Guy's face.
I never get the two mixed up. Doom Guy is a pussy compared to one of these.
And nary the two shall be what?
You what?
I'm sorry.
Has he got to that stage where you don't finish a sentence now?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't sprechen your nerd.
Second Z nerd? No. It's rich.
Yeah, I am obviously the beacon of what is hip for a 52-year-old man.
Oh, actually, so I haven't even what's it like? Talked to you about the law that you asked for. To be honest, I do apologize.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude? You're supposed to be telling stories and shit. You're just sitting there silently.
I need some Warhammer 40k lore because, as familiar as I am with that system, which is I know the name and I recognize it as a system, I know nothing about the lore.
I know absolutely nothing about what you just said.
I know that 40k is the shorthand for a game called Warhammer 40k.
Yeah.
See, you are so far ahead of the game with me right now. I'm a little bit turned on.
I just got an email notifying me that there was a positive case for COVID-19 with an employee that uses the building that my company uses.
Oh, you got the lurgy plague victim.
Good afternoon, tenants. Please see attached regarding the positive case at the place where I work. Should you have any questions, blah blah blah. So we work in a big building that's housed probably 4 or 5 different companies.
Yeah, I don't know what the story is in the UK, but you still have to pass a screening process in order to qualify to be tested here.
Really? In order to just be
tested? Howard Stern, famous radio guy now on satellite, his driver talked about the fact that he was considered essential worker, and so he went and got tested, and not only did his test results show up, I think it was 16 days later, but he ended up with a bill for $333.
I thought you were gonna say 333,000. I was like, what?
No, but it was supposed to be paid for by the government.
Gotcha.
Or at least his insurance, and neither one of them picked it up.
Yeah. Okay. American insurance does my head in. It's the most shitty system ever.
Join the club. I understand the NHS is probably underfunded, but at least I don't know. I wish we had an NHS here. I wish we had.
It has its ups and downs, with every.
I'm sure it does. I'm like, nobody's system is perfect. I'm willing to stipulate that nobody's system is perfect, but I like yours, and Canada's better than ours. We got a. Oh shit! What was I gonna say? Lost my train of thought. What was it? COVID. Blah blah blah. Something about. Oh, I was gonna say I was pretty proud of the way that my company was handling, like returning back to work and stuff. And even though I've requested to be at home full time and I've not gotten a response, it'd be really, really nice to get a response, but I haven't gotten one. Everybody only has to go back. So we're only filling the office with 50% of the people on 2 days of the week, and then 50% of the people on the other 2 days of the week. So I'm like Wednesday, Thursday, and then there's another group of people that are Monday, Tuesday, and then on Fridays, everybody stays home. That's what they've decided to do.
I'd like to propose something and get everyone's opinion about whether or not they recognize this as being a thing. I think even if Trump gets away with absolutely everything that he's done before and during the presidency, that he is going to suffer because of COVID, because of the amount of commercial real estate that he owns, and the amount of companies that are no longer going to pay for walls and floors when they can have everybody work from home and be just as effective.
Right.
So skyscrapers are going to be filled with apartments, not offices, going forward.
Yeah.
And he doesn't do well in the apartment market.
Does he do well in any market?
Yeah, no, there are still fucking enclaves of stupid. But if you want to see how a city should react to a Trump building being put in it, look up the Trump property in Chicago and the history of that fucking thing going up. They were okay with it right up until he put in gigantic gold lit letters
his name
Trump on the fucking riverfront.
Wow.
That guy is
So garish and obnoxious. His taste is horrible.
he is the classic example of narcissism. It's just mind-boggling how
Such a child.
he is a man-child. He's a fucking 7-year-old toddler. I've never hated anyone in my life more than I hate that man.
Well, he's never seen a nipple he didn't want to put in his mouth either.
Mind you, I mean, the same could be said for probably all of us.
Yeah, no, I've never had the experience of walking through an underage girl's beauty pageant.
Oh,
back.
no.
Yeah, see, that's never been a thing that I would have even considered doing.
I will go.
I think even as a 19-year-old, I would have known to not do that.
Yeah.
Mm.
I will go. I'll go back to like my theater experience when I've done some theater stuff. I did some work for a couple of what are they called? Just some entertainment companies over here that like they hire out people to go do just weird shit at places. Like, oh, you want a photographer at your deal? You want somebody to dress up as a this and stand in your party and whatever. So I worked for some entertainment companies like that. And because it's assumed that if you're in the theater and you're in this industry that you're probably gay, I'm sitting back there with a bunch of guys and we're in a dressing room full of a bunch of half-naked women getting dressed. It wasn't that bad. I was looking around going, I'm sitting there wearing sunglasses as is everybody else around me because that was like our character thing. We were wearing sunglasses. And I'm thinking, this is pretty good. And I'm looking over and there's this girl and a dancer, like she's having trouble getting her zipper up. And I just like walked her. I was like, you're really happy with that. Zip. And she's like, oh, thanks, honey. I'm like, no problem, babe. Oh, I'm out. I didn't do anything Trumpian. I didn't grab anybody's whatever, but
Right. No, it
didn't suck either. It didn't suck either. It's pretty nice.
I have made decisions that I'm not especially proud of.
Right.
Remember, this is streaming.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to talk openly about the number of laws I've broken.
Fingering a pig on the solstice a crime? I don't know.
It was a giraffe.
It was true.
It was Carl.
Get a blowjob from a giraffe.
It was a giraffe. His name was Carl.
Yeah, I was going to say you wrong Kyle, you monster.
Carl the giraffe.
It's just how this shit happens.
Okay, after a bit of a unknown oil wash, we are finished here.
What progress do we have? What are we looking at?
I will give you a progress report as soon as I put this. Just do the focus.
Any chance we could get you to focus the goddamn camera on something?
Yeah, just shading some.
Yeah, there it goes. There it is.
Yeah, just shading a couple of areas with.
There we go.
Yeah,
Wait, you're calling this done?
Wait, no, this is the first guy. Is this the first guy you did? You pulled out and said, here's the first mini I ever painted?
No, this is the new one.
Oh, okay.
Is this the one that took you like 3 hours to do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, no, yeah, because he's missing a head and an arm right now.
I haven't put it together just yet. That's the next step. I always paint with everything separated because it just makes a lot more sense doing it.
I think it's just weird that every time I see you painting, you're painting something you've already painted.
he's got, they're all replicas, aren't they?
Well, yeah, they're pretty much all the same.
Scratch.
Yeah, I'm not convinced that you're starting from scratch on these fuckers. I feel like that's
It's the same one.
Mattel is stamped on the bottom of these sons of bitches.
Yeah, they're all part of an army, so they're all pretty much there are pretty much carbon copies with a few little differences between, just mostly in the pose.
Look, if you're just gonna shit on my jokes, I'm gonna go pass out.
That's your problem. Okay, that's the twilight done for that. I have to do that. A bit more shading, and I'm calling this one done.
Yeah, I'm thinking I can tell work to go fuck itself now. I've been monitoring my email this whole time and nothing's come in, so done.
Yeah, you're after 5 in Eastern time zone, so
Yeah, it's 4:30 here. That's enough. That's enough time for me to call it a day. I'm good.
yeah. The fact that you worked after 1 o'clock is fairly astonishing.
4:30. Right?
Okay, we are ready to glue. Okay. This is going to be the fun part. Actually, I'm going to use super glue for this because I can't be arsed hanging about.
When we were allowed to, when I was working landscape installation crews when I was younger and things didn't hurt this bad, we would take a really late lunch because we knew after we ate we were going to get shit done.
Right.
And we're just going to take us at least a half an hour to clean up. So we're only looking at 3.5 hours of not doing much.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And I had a boss that forced me to take 1 hour lunches because the only person I was working with and I decided that we would much rather go without a lunch and get off at 4 o'clock. And he couldn't stomach that. He thought he was being cheated for some reason.
Yeah.
So he mandated that we take a 1 hour lunch so he could clock us out at 5 instead of 4.
4? Yeah. Ridiculous.
The fuck? Fuck you.
Ain't that kind of micromanagement? Pisses me off.
It'd be the one instance where if a company had GPS on the truck, he could suck his own dick with what actually showed up. Almost every other instance of that happening is going to be bad for the person in the truck. Not in this particular one, however.
Suck a bag of dicks, boss.
Yeah, I didn't start fucking off and going home in the middle of the day.
You're blocked by Tim Ham? Congratulations, sir. Oh,
yeah, I learned that this morning.
I just looked over and saw that.
Yeah. AIG and Ken Ham have effectively, have blocked me on Twitter.
Oh, Ken Ham, what a twat.
Yeah.
It's becoming a sport now, isn't it? See which high-profile person you can be blocked by.
I think we should, make a miniature game just for people to download for free. And so it gives you badges and achievements for who's blocked you on Twitter.
Well, like Pokemon Go.
Yeah, pretty much.
Somebody else did a live stream. Who's Mike J. Silver 76? Black Sofa?
I don't know.
Yeah.
He's part of the immensely popular chat show group.
Oh. I still don't think I know who that is, but
Just posted a live chat that he's doing apparently. It's about 27 minutes old now. I don't know.
Oh, here you go, people.
How much ink do you have?
he used to.
Track?
Hmm?
Triax? I don't know what to call you. Triax?
Triax.
Triax.
I always call him Trixie. It's easier.
Trixie?
Oh, don't you dare, don't you dare. Yeah, so there you
He
go.
also answers to Spitter.
Really good.
He answers to Miss Hap.
Miss Hat.
Yeah, so.
Mr. Hat.
He answers to Hey You in the helmet.
That looks really good, dude.
It's only basic. I still got a bit more to do, but that's a lot of busy work that's gonna take forever, like lettering on the banner and stuff.
I wasn't kidding when I said yesterday that I was going to be really pissed off if I found out that he had bounced off of something. I wasn't going to be able to do this today.
There you go, one complete figure, and hopefully it shows up this well on my stream when it gets saved.
Well, it looks really good right now.
Really good. Yeah, really in focus. It looks real nice.
Yeah, when you focus.
I might have to do a design on here and these
You
little
might take the
panels.
fucking fag out of your mouth.
Nah, shut up. Bitch.
Non-smoker on the street again?
Yeah, what's that? I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to
Crying out
do
loud.
some stuff on
Sound like
here, on
Clint
these
Eastwood
little
with an English
panels
accent.
and on there. But yeah, it's pretty much finished. Oh, actually, no, I need to do one last thing because I was waiting for something to dry. I need to give it a wash of brown. There you go. One.
So are you basing what you've done on anything that you've seen?
Nope, it's my own homebrew chapter. or a homebrew legion.
No, I meant more in the how you. Okay, let me try that again. Can you put it back up so I can talk about details that I'm? Would you hurry up?
1 second. There you go.
This is the way on the stream anyway, so
Come on,
There you go.
come on.
It's
Come on, ow! Tonio, holy thing,
shit.
oh,
Missed a little bit. Sorry, mate.
Jesus Christ!
Come on, you fucking bit of paint.
Have you ever heard the comedy bit about?
There. Now it's done.
I think it's Jesus in the World Series.
what?
Let's see if I can,
What?
let's see if I can find it.
So
Please.
yeah, what are you saying? So how about, do I base this off anything like a previous paint scheme or?
Yeah, I assume because don't.
Yeah,
don't-
the way you deal with the flow of the banner.
No, wait, let me get the eyes off. No, not really. This is just off my top of my head. I haven't seen anything like this one before, so yeah.
Yeah, no, you did a really good job of capturing the texture of the banner.
There's a little bit more highlighting I need to do, but I think I might stop it there. But I don't know. I'll probably go back to this model at some point because
It definitely looks like it's built in the sun. It's really good.
Totally.
so yeah, it's just a few little extra things like design work on these little bits here, that bit there, the actual scroll work needs something written there, but I don't know
Look
what.
at the color of your fucking skin. For Christ's sake.
Oh no,
Go outside, man.
no, that's because I've got a light here as well. So I've got
Yeah,
like
no,
a
I'm
big
looking
ass
at- I'm
spotlight
looking at my-
above me.
Yeah, I'm looking at myself. Yeah, no, I'm quite a bit darker than
But
this.
yeah, so that's just that one. As I said, I've got the one that I was fixing, which is now fixed.
Nice.
Yeah, that's him. I've got the one from a previous thing. The face is not that great, unfortunately. I don't do faces.
Hey, Trix, have I talked to you since I got this quilt behind me?
Yes, I think you have. Actually, I think, was it that quilt, or I can't remember if it was that quilt or another one.
My mother made this quilt.
Uh,
I try to say that as much as I can.
no,
My mom made that fucking quilt.
That's some skill. Fucking, if I tried to fucking sew something like that, it would just turn into a big ball of crap.
She had given me another quilt that I already knew before she gave it to me was one that she had tried to give away to a lot of people that just didn't take it.
Mm.
And that was the first one she gave me. I was like, well, that's wonderful. That makes me feel special. And then the next one I get from her is this one. There's probably 400 hours in this fucking thing. It's a lot of fucking work.
Just grabbing some of my
It's a lot of. Mom took up quilting to get away from my dad, and it's working.
Oh, 1 second. Right back.
Although at this point, all you need to do to get away from my dad is leave the house.
Uh-huh.
Okay, alright.
He mostly goes from the bathroom to his chair, to his bedroom, to the garage or the sun porch to smoke cigarettes.
Right, just to show what my previous work has been like. This is my pride and joy.
Oh yeah, that's fucking tits.
Yeah, my Belisarius call.
Oh, wow.
I need to redo the base because it's slightly chipping in places, but
Right there is good focus. That's nice. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's
There's a
really
lot of
fun.
pieces on that damn model. How many pieces was that thing in?
too
That
many.
had to be- I was gonna say, that had to be a ton of fucking pieces.
Way too fucking many pieces. And half of them didn't go together properly, so I had to like jam them in there.
I like the detail down where like the robe has tattered, and you can see like the black. Um, I mean, you can see the voids where the robe is tattered,
Yeah.
right? It's not just doesn't look.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful, man.
That's pretty cool.
One of my, as I said, one of my pride and joys. This is one I did recently. One of my Death Guard Plague Marines. First
I just have really good dogs.
Light's a bit too bright for this one, but yeah, this is my one of my Death Guard Plague Marines.
Alright.
And I seem to be able to paint these better than any other model, so this is what I paint mostly now. What else do I have? I have something I will actually repair on stream because it needs it. My Hive Tyrant.
Very nice.
Oh, what time is it? Shit. 4. I've got to go.
No, that's all right, man.
I've got to get something done before 8 o'clock, and it's probably going to take me every bit of time between now and then to get it done.
Well, before you go, I was talking about my Imperial Knight.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
What was that one before the drag? Oh shit! Look at that.
Oh, that's a Hive Tyrant, but also in there, you can just about see the pilot.
Oh man! Oh, there's the pilot. There he is. I see him. Is he removable? Is the pilot?
No, that's stuck in place. Unfortunately, he's missing. This guy's missing a foot, but yeah.
That's still really cool.
I'm gonna bail as well. I gotta get something to eat, but
no worries. Yeah, it's gonna come to the end of the stream soon because I need to be getting off eventually. Got to fucking get ready for work tomorrow. Oof. Yeah.
What time? What time is it there now?
It is 10:36.
Yeah. I was gonna say 11:36, but I was off by now.
yeah. See, and I was gonna go the other way. So
The other way.
yeah, we need to have a chat sometime when you're actually chattable.
Yeah. Next week I'm pretty much working solid, but the week after I have a holiday. So at any point during that holiday, I am available to chat.
Very well. Remind me when that's going on.
But yeah, the whole week I'm completely free. So yeah, I'll probably do a few more painting streams. I might do just some general streams, and you're all welcome on if you wish to.
Right on.
Fantastic.
Globy, rare pleasure.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Toferj.
have you?
Good to see you again.
All right. Thanks very much. Talk to you
worries,
guys later.
mate.
Love you, Trax.
Have a good one, guys. Take care.
Yeah.
Take care.
Peace out.
Stay healthy. Do the right thing. Don't be a dick.
Wipe your ass. Right, and I think that is the end of the stream for tonight. Thank you for everyone who showed up, and good night.
Good night, guys.